Hey, howdy, everybody. Sometimes the video goes, but the audio doesn't. We're here with a friend of mine, Tempest, who's dragged me out of retirement, kicking and screaming to do a bunch of Mega Man X stuff, and told me he had this nice little DS game that I mentioned it a few times in streams. I saw a lot of you actually excited, so wanted to give Tempest a chance to show off a oldie but a goodie, one of those small games that didn't really make a big splash, but those of you that remember it really enjoy it. And take it away with Spectrobes, Tempest.
Heck yeah, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is Tempest. Some of you know me as Steve, and I am very, very happy to be joining you all on RPG Limit Break. I, for those who don't know, have been a long-time online volunteer, so I have been a little bit behind the scenes here and there when it came to helping out with chat modding, social media, and even a one-time host for Super Mario RPG with Ice Blue, and it's been nothing short of awesome, but this will be my first time doing a run here on the channel, so I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, this will be Spectrobes. This is a game developed by Jupiter, published by Buena Vista, which is a Disney publisher company before it was simply Disney Interactive Games, I guess you could call it. And yeah, we'll talk about more as we go along the way, but I am joined by one of the community runners, Cyver, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello. My name is Cyver. I do not have the extensive history with RPG Limit Break that TempestMask boasts, so this will be my very first time here interacting with RPG Limit Break ever. But yeah, as he said, I am a Spectrobes speedrunner. I'm the current world record holder for both any percent and any percent no frame walk, and I'll be happy to provide some hopefully informative commentary for you guys as we go through this.
I honestly think I couldn't have picked a better commentator for this, so I'm very happy to have you along for the ride. Shout out to Sniper Wave, who unfortunately could not join us, but yeah. Alright, Sid, I think we're ready to go?
Yeah, feel free to count us in whenever.
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we have an unskippable cutscene to start us off, which means we get to talk a little bit about the generalistics of what this game is about. So, we are taking place in the Nanairo solar system, and how it works is Rowlin and Gina are a policing duo of the Galactic Police here, who have been assigned to investigate a strange occurrence on the planet Daiichi. We're going to go ahead and investigate and find that a escape pod has crash-landed on the place, and with it, the ability to summon these fossilized creatures known as Spectrobes. The threat is a galactic void-like, amoeba-like being called the Crawl, and effectively they are threatening the peace of the Nanairo system, so we're going to use the Spectrobes to hopefully fight them back. And with that in mind, we'll start things off by talking about the general gameplay. So, Cyver, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, so the gist of it is going to be, it's pretty much going to be space Pokemon at a very surface level. So we'll be given 2 Spectrobes to start off, and we'll be getting a few stronger ones along the way. But yeah, we'll be seeing the first fight in a moment. It's basically going to be 2 Spectrobes fighting alongside Rowlin against 3 Crawl in most of encounters. There will be one at the very end, where it's only going to be against 1, but generally it's a 3 versus 3.
So the game has a bit of a combination of 2D graphics along with 3D-ish graphics. So this is a Nintendo DS game, and at the time, this was Jupiter just trying to get their bearings. So there's a lot of first game syndrome with Spectrobes 1, but that's also what serendipitously makes it the most speed runnable, at least in terms of like optimized times, because while we've still yet to have like super optimized times, it's what allowed us to find some very interesting tricks that makes any percent my personal go-to category. The reason that I picked up any percent being just my first speedrun category of this game and stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead into the battle tutorial. So we start out with Zozane and Spiken. These are our starter Spectrobes, and Rallin is also a part of the battle as well. The main gist is that if Rallin's HP goes down to 0, he will be knocked out, and that will cause me to have an automatic defeat. So I have to be very considerate of Rallin, especially because he can very well be a glass cannon, as per the run's, let's just say, hijinks. Because unfortunately, there will be no opportunity for me to optimally power him up.
Yeah, we'll be very, very reliant on our Spectrobes here to deal the big damage.
Shockwave missed that Viblava.
Yeah, this first fight generally is quite a bit of a mess. There is a lot of it will go in terms of optimizing the run. A lot of it will be just optimizing these fights, trying to chain as many hits together as quickly as possible, getting off a lot of charge attacks as quickly as possible, and yeah, just using the general radius of the attacks to hit 2 or 3 enemies at once to get this done as quickly as possible. But the first fight's always a bit of a weird one. The later ones will be much easier than this.
Yeah. So we're going to be introduced to Aldois, who comes from a star system that was sadly doomed as of several years ago. But despite all things, he very much wants to ensure that the non-air system will not fall victim to his the Giorna system where he comes from, and will serve as a major key supporting character. So now we're going to be talking about, like, he gives us the introduction to the Crawl, who they are, the threat that they possess, and the fact that we picked up his Prismod and are able to use it to awaken and command Spectrobes. So he lets us keep it, which is obviously very generous of him, because, you know, sometimes there are certain fictional stories where the mentor protagonist is like, give that thing back to me. I did not give you that usage, or something like that. But yeah, no, Aldo is no fool. He knows that it's that we're the protagonist, and yeah, we're just gonna quickly do a very small interaction with the heal save pod. I'm going to say no to both of those things because the game just wants you to interact with it in order to activate this cutscene that then lets us go upstairs to awaken our first searching Spectrobe of the game, and the only one we'll be using as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways that you can actually trigger this like cutscene that Gina calls you downstairs. You can interact with the cockpit, you can try to leave the cruiser, so many different ways. It ends up being personal preference, as like most of them are around the same time, roughly.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Awaken for this one. That was a mistaken input. Already off to a good start on my part. Alright, and... oh gosh. I forgot about the mic sensitivity on this thing.
Yeah, so that what you saw there was Tempest struggling with the mic input. So Spectrobes as a game just loves to use just about anything that the DS used in terms of capability. So yeah, the Awakening system heavily uses the microphone. There'll be a lot of touchscreen usage, and there was a lot of interactivity with DS download game and
oh, dang it!
As well.
I forgot to line up.
Yeah, and we can't just leave like this. We need the search Spectrobe that we just awakened in our party.
So I decided for good posture to name him RPGLB. Spectrobe names can only hold up to 6 characters at a time, so normally whenever you wake them up, the default uses some kind of like initials as well as a number for, like, I guess the first or whatever instance of the Spectrobe you've awakened. Something like that, I guess. Either or I think it's like actually either their dex number. I don't know.
No, it's just the counter.
Okay, it is the counter. Got it. It's one of those non-speedrun details that obviously don't think too much on, but yeah, very quickly we are going to be coming up to the first major discovery, and in terms of like what I get to show off with y'all. Obviously, it's not the only one. Like, The original any percent category did not have this trick found at first, but when the community did discover it, it was major. So we'll go into detail after I do a couple of mandatory excavations in order to proceed with the game, but that's a badly placed crawl vortex.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm gonna reset the room.
Yeah, that might be a good idea here.
Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no, it's trying to follow me. Maybe this is okay. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I should reset the room. That's.
I told you. I'm sorry, dude.
You know what?
It's just how they show it.
Wow.
You know what? No. I'm running. I'm encountering and I'm running.
So these vortexes that you will see in the overworld, those will be basically how this game handles random encounters. They have set spawn points, but they don't always spawn in those set spawn points. It's mostly a game of chance, and where possible, Tempest will want to avoid getting into these encounters, as unless you're like just running around a lot and trying to dodge it. If you would just run into it head on and just run it from the encounter immediately, it would lose you about 13 seconds. So it's not ideal, but it's not going to be the end of the world ultimately here.
Nope.
At least the run got
There we go.
The cheese out of the way early.
One would
What
hope.
this is doing right now is he's picking up these cubes. Basically, the game at this point just kind of tasks you with going out and exploring the area a little. What the game really needs you to do is just find these 2 cubes in order to progress the story. So at this point, Tempest has already picked up the 2nd cube, so we could be heading back to the cruiser, and that is what the original any percent would be doing at this point. However, we're going to be climbing this mountain, and that's another unfortunate encounter right there. And we're going to be coming up on
I thought I could just thread the needle.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be coming up on the biggest skip of the entire run, and the reason we have now split between any percent and any percent no frame walk. So what Tempest is about to do here will save about 30-ish minutes. It's a really major skip, so this is going to be looking a bit awkward. But yeah, basically this is what you're looking at. It's called frame walking. That sign right there would usually prevent you from entering this area called Tabletop Mountains. But since it is a non-permanent wall, you can do this trick, and there's a couple of instances of a couple of instances of non-permanent walls in this game where you can do this. This one just happens to be the one that saves the most amount of time. So this is an area that you would usually only be in the mid-game.
Flashing screen warning, by the way. Unfortunately, we do have to put up a flashing screen warning for the amount of flashes that this entire mountain section will be presenting. So if Tech could quickly set that up, and then I'll let you know when we're done. This is the only portion of the game in which such a thing will happen, and it's very brief. But I also don't want to risk it for the sake of our audience's health, of course.
It is just enough to be annoying, and as somebody that is slightly sensitive to that
it's going to be continuous in this room, unfortunately.
I can take it down, just let me know. I was opening up the thing, and Ashton got to it before I did. I was like, where do we have this again? Oh wait, I remember.
Understandable.
Warning.
So here's the thing. This is something that normally in casual gameplay I would try to avoid happening, because what this is an overexposure of an element called Corona. Spectrobes has 3 elements, and Corona is one of them, so naturally, at some point in the game, Rowling can get access to some special armor that can negate the damage of Corona, or at least reduce it in battle, and so in the story purposes, he has to get it in order to... That's the wrong route. The literal wrong route. Irony. Rowling gets this armor to completely negate the environmental damage that this causes on him. It's also affecting any non-Corona Spectrobes in the party as well, so Spiken is not having it with this, but Zozane is completely unaffected, so he'll be fine, but like I said, what really matters is Rowling's health pool at the end of the day. We're coming up to the next of the flashy rooms, and we'll be done with this pretty soon, but right now I got a lineup for a very important sequence break.
So this is another trick here. Usually there would be a trigger that would send you into the toughest boss fight of the game, but by just like walking up against the wall, it just kind of pushes you right past it. And we can just get straight to excavating this little treasure here called the diamond mineral, which is a very important story item.
I'm just going to 100% it for you all just for the heck of showing off.
There we go. Good thing about the diamond mineral
right.
is usually you, like if you try and excavate things, they can break if you have your drill on them for too long. The diamond mineral cannot break, so there was no worry about that whatsoever.
Jump scare for Monster Roar. And at this point, we can get rid of the flashing warning. We are out of the woods. And into Tronkos, the boss of this section. Please hit me. There we go. Thank you. Oh, that gold.
Yeah, so you might be wondering, you might be wondering why he just did that. So that's the boss we just avoided by like hugging that wall. But yeah, at this point we have everything we want. So our goal is just to head back to the cruiser as fast as possible. In regular any percent, we would have a key item called the jetpack, which we could use to just immediately get back to the cruiser, but because we did this sequence break, we don't have it at this point, so the next best thing Tempest can do is just intentionally trigger the fight and intentionally die to it, because that also sends you back to the cruiser.
There we go. So we have now handed in our Alpha Cube, and then we will be handing in the Beta Cube very shortly, and then there will be a quick little ship blaring sound effect right after the dialogue, so get your ears ready. There we go. A little bit of a potential jump scare for anybody that might not have been prepared for that one, but that's kind of the idea, because Commander Grant here of the NPP is telling us, "Yo, you have not given me a report. What the heck is going on over there?" Understandable, considering we've just gotten caught up with this whole power system and got beat up by a boss Spectrobe by doing an entire sequence break and went through a flashing mountain. Yeah,
he's not going to believe this story.
It's pretty convenient that you click through the boss flag, go get what you need, come back and be like, "All right, come on. Right on the chin, big guy. Get me out of here."
Oh yeah. See, here's the funny thing about me and my history of this game. So, this came out around the time when I was in maybe 4th or 5th grade, and I remember the commercials very vividly. The ones where these, like, high school students are in a class, they're one's shouting into the microphone, "Wake up! Wake up!" And then the teacher was in a snooze, and he's like, "Ah!" So, yeah, very charming commercials, but, one of my classmates had this game, and I tried it out, and I was like, okay, yeah, I need to get this. So I got the first game. There are 2 other titles, Spectrobes Beyond the Portals, which is the direct sequel for the DS, and then there was Spectrobes Origins for the Wii, and that was it. And this also had a web series that I think you can still potentially find the episodes for on YouTube here, that covered the events of Spectrobes and Beyond the Portals. And it's pretty cool stuff. Yuri Lowenthal voices Rallin in Origins, but I believe it was Steve Stolle, known for Neji Hyuga, as well as the main protagonist of Gundam, the MS 9th Squadron, I believe the title is. So, yeah, very notable voice actor there. I can't remember who voices Gina, but I do know that it's like, I think Michelle Ruff in the Wii video game, and I've met Michelle Ruff at New York Comic Con. I believe it was back in 2024. Very nice person. Absolutely stellar voice actress. The original voice of Yukari from Persona 3, as well as having done anime like Rave Master, as well as... oh gosh, why is my... Oh, dang it, why is... Digimon
Tail?
Frontier, which...
Yeah, just a bit of a brain fail. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she was... I'm pretty sure she's Zoe from Digimon Frontier, which was my most nostalgic Digimon season, because I loved the trains from that one. I was a simple kid. But yeah,
Alright.
we picked up a very important cube right there, so if Cyver wants to go ahead and explain what that one's purpose will be while I mentally prepare myself with my paper notes here.
Yeah, so at this point, we could have also returned to the cruiser, but we had to take this detour because this is another really integral part of the run and the reason we can basically just blitz through most of the fights. So the cube that TempestMask just picked up will allow the card input system. So the card input system used to be a promotional thingy where if you would buy the game, in the box you would get, I believe it was about 3 random little cards that you would be able to physically overlay on your touchscreen. And the card came with 7 holes in it, where if you would poke through them in order, it's basically a code, which will allow you to unlock powerful equipment, Spectrobes, and all sorts of things. So in this day and age, all of these are available online, and TempestMask is just going to input a couple of very specific codes that will give us 2 very strong Spectrobes. First off, we get Inca Flare and Grildregos. And we should be getting a third one here, which is
That's
Windora.
That'll be our support Spectrobe. And I'll go ahead and put them in the party right now.
Yeah, so the reason we choose these specific Spectrobes is Inca Flare and Grildregos. They are just like some of the highest level Spectrobes that we can get from the card input system, and they will also be very good in terms of dealing damage and especially chaining hits. Windora will, as TempestMask said, fulfill the role of a support Spectrobe, so you can have up to 6 Spectrobes in your party, but you'll only ever have 2 in battle with you at a time. The other 4 Spectrobes aren't completely useless though, and they will be buffing your stats as you go into these fights, and Windora gives you a speed boost and a power boost, so basically we'll be able to move faster, we'll be able to deal more damage, and yeah, what else could you want?
Yeah. By the way, in case I am seeing in chat that the game audio might be a bit on the low side, I do apologize for that. If tech is able to fix it, then that'd be great. If not, and I have to do something on my end, just let me know. But yeah, all things considered, I am running this off of original hardware, and this is a new Nintendo 3DS XL, a capture card that I had bought from very graciously from Loopy, and yeah, this is a very, very convenient gizmo that I've had and always wanted to have. Originally, I also got an OG DS capture card from Loopy as well. I have tried running on both hardwares before, and I feel like the D-pad of the 3DS is way more preferable for the frame walk. I have been able to pull it off on my OG DS, but when it comes to the thinness of the D-pad, then yeah, it's just easier to do. Because I know Cyver explained what exactly I was doing in order to get into the Tabletop Mountain, but wait, it's called Tabletop, right? What?
Yeah, it's Tabletop Mountains. I don't think I've explained like the actual technicality behind the skip, but I guess we can go over that real quick. So basically, how you perform the frame walk is you face your back against the wall that you want to walk through. You hold down the B button, which is the walking button. So Rowan's default speed is running, but you can slow down to a walk by pressing B. And then you repeatedly tap the direction that you want to move away from, like over and over. So basically, the clip that he did, he went left, so he would have input right over and over again. And I guess because of like animations being janky, it slightly displaces Rowland backwards, which allows him to go through these non-permanent walls like that. We just got a little bit of a fight here going. We're just saving our man Professor Wright. And yeah, you can see just how much damage especially Inca Flare does here. It's incredible, and it allows us to speed up these fights so much.
Alright, so a quick little explanation on the different stages of Spectrobes. So there is the child form, which is what we use to get the fossil scanning, which is also good for locating minerals and the cubes. Each of them have a different sparkle on the ground. The rainbow ones are the cubes, but at this point I won't have to search for any more of them, so we are good on that front, and there's no more excavating that really needs to be done. The diamond is the one and only mineral we'll really need to get, and that was a blue one, and Spectrobe fossils are yellow. Professor Wright here actually brought up a little something that certain Spectrobe fossils can come with what's called a custom part. And what that means is that if you excavate one with a custom part and awaken it, then you can use that custom part on that species' upper forms to then have a bit of a variation system going, which changes the stats and design ever so slightly of the Spectrobe in question, and lends itself to a very interesting bit of variety that I've always personally appreciated from the game in general. But aside from that, different child Spectrobes have different fossil search ranges. So if I were to awaken that owl pod, then that one would have a much bigger one for sure. Then there is the adult form Spectrobe, or the first stage Spectrobe, I guess you could call them. And that's what Spiken and Zozane are. And they are combat ready, they are used in battle, they are pretty simplistic as can be, where if I press the attack button with the shoulders for the assigned Spectrobe to Rallen's side, they'll just do the attack no problem. The third form, like major adult form Spectrobes though, those are a little different, because you saw that I had a special little prompt with Inca Flare and Gildragos. So in that case, you can have them stay still. You can have them stay still and make your special attack meter charge up faster, or you can have them attack. Now, the simplicity is slightly stilted because of this, so meaning you have to remember from this point on that you have to do an extra button input. But aside from that, yeah, that's basically the gist of it. There is one more form of Spectrobe, but we will not see that until the end game.
I suppose we should be talking about what's currently happening in the run. So we're currently just breaking the story in two, so the sequence skip is officially completed now. Basically how the story goes, our commander sends us to Nessa, which is the planet we're on right now, and this man that we just talked to, Cyrus, wants us to retrieve a blue keystone from the ruins of Nessa, which is usually what we would do now, but because we have the diamond mineral, we can immediately trigger his next dialogue, and that would be later in the game, basically when we would just naturally through the story go to retrieve the diamond mineral for him, because in the course of the story, basically, we figure out that the blue keystone is a very, very important piece that we need to turn the ruins that we're about to visit into an ancient spaceship to visit the farthest reaches of the Nanairo star system. So basically, Cyrus offers us a swap deal. He gives us the blue keystone, we give him the diamond mineral. So basically how this interaction now plays out is he asks us to go find the blue keystone, we show him the diamond mineral, he gives us the blue keystone, which is pretty funny, all things considered.
Yeah, so a little history with me in this game. Growing up, I also had an Action Replay DS, and one of the cheat codes that I admit to using was one that gave you all instances of the different minerals that you could have, and it gave you 99 of those. So imagine my surprise when I suddenly had the diamond dialogue pop up for me the first time. And I guess you could say I was probably one of the first people to discover that that was that sequence break was a thing. Ooh, I got the good luck there. That's awesome.
Nice.
Wait,
so in that corridor,
okay,
a vortex can spawn where if it spawns there, it's entirely unavoidable. It's the only truly unavoidable spawn. Basically, if a vortex is stationary, we can go around all of them, except for that one right there. So that not spawning is pretty nice, and that saves us about 13 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of luck on my part, because any run that I've done not for an event, this is literally my first event run with this game, yeah, I've not had that kind of luck. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
that
more often than not,
my other
vortex is there. We don't know the exact odds for that one, but our guesstimate is about 75 to 80% of the time that vortex is there and just ruins your day.
So I'm gonna go into the bottom corridor here, because this is the ruins of Nessa, and it's this part of the game that has you up dead end already. Ah, well.
Yeah, so the ruins are a huge natural
money for, if this were the main event, I would be doing like a little donation game for every wrong path I go down. Oh well. Alright, we'll go up. This is essentially the game's own map design, so really there's not like a whole lot of puzzles within the game per se that are very complicated and stuff, but I'd say the game makes up for that in the map design, that if you don't know where to go, that's what's going to be wasting your casual time more often than not. But it's still pretty okay to do, because like the whole point of going around these maps is mostly to also find other Spectrobe fossils and minerals and stuff, so really that's kind of the excuse you got here with this gameplay choice.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I definitely remember in my casual playthrough, especially the Nessa ruins, I got lost a lot, and it took me so long to actually, like, find this room right here. So, we're about to put the blue keystone in. Yeah, this guy shows up. So, we've got another boss fight here.
Normally you don't fight him on the first visit, because we mentioned that by giving the diamond we've activated a huge story jump. So normally you do get to the blue keystone, and then you're able to come back here and do this story event, and that's how it rolls. I'm going to play this a little differently. Oh! Okay, thankfully he did Inca Flare. But also, ooh, I don't know. I'm a little bit scared, not gonna lie. Carcassa is a huge time loss for me.
He's very, very dangerous, and especially because we have not upgraded Rallen's equipment, he can very easily just one-shot him, so Tempest is going to have to be extremely cautious here. And also his minions can heal him, which is extra annoying.
I don't trust that. Oh! Yes! Yes!
Nice.
Oh, that is so good. That fight freaks me out a little bit. By the way, all boss Spectrobes have that very same roar sound effect, so yeah, just very simplistic audio design here, nothing to it. Would have been interesting, though, to see a remake of this game handle it a bit differently for each one. If they ever, like, have the thought process to do such a thing, which, very unlikely, but still, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, dang it! Ah, I didn't have to do that.
Oh. I wonder what's going to happen now. I've never done this, so...
No. Oh, no, I had a brain fart. Oh, this is bad.
So what's happened is, yeah. What's happened is, because, like, we broke the story like that, the ruins are still in the state where we would find them the first time, where the blue keystone is for us to take there, but Tempest just picked it up, so I don't know how this is going to play out now. I don't think this has ever happened, so...
Okay, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Thank God we still get that cutscene. I was really worried the game would just completely break at this point. We're good! This is exactly what's
that's so funny, because normally what this means is that by collecting the keystone, it's not going to remain floating in the... Well, then again, you know what, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway.
I was worried that, the story flags would be messed up by this. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
I gotta say it. That's never happened before. Oh man, every single time I do some kind of a live demonstration, this happens.
I love that I meandered off and then came back for that's never happened before. Like, if that isn't a marathon hallmark, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I warned you, man. I'm sorry. This show is evil. It's possessed.
not-
We need a priest.
No. This is my fault. This is my fault, Sid. That's what happened. It was my
See,
fault.
my job as the host is to justify every action that you take and make it the game's fault. That is literally in the contract. My boss is like, no, the runner is faultless. It's always the game.
Alright, so I just realized I had a little confusion as to when I am normally supposed to activate the ruins. The split for activating the ruins, which I've confusingly now I'd realized just named Activate the Ruins. I had to skip that split, so I'm just like, what am I doing anymore? Am I timing this right? Am I doing this way too early? Oh no. I'm pretty sure it was when I activated the ruins, cutscene plays, and then I split. Speaking of cutscenes... Oh man, here we go. So we gotta make a bit of a detour. So we did try to go to Mado, the 7th planet of the Nana-Euro system, but now we have to go into Himuro, the 6th planet of the Nana-Euro system, which looks very non-spherical. How curious, I wonder about that.
Yeah. So the plot at this point is basically we want to head to the base of the crawl, which is Mado. But basically the entire planet is surrounded by just a lot of crawl, and it's so dense that we can't break through. So we have to basically get away and make an emergency landing over on Himuro, which is conveniently closely by. So while Gina just tampers around with the ship and tries to figure out a way to get past, we're just sent down to Himuro and explore the place a little bit.
Get ready for a jam, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is such a great tune.
I'm gonna let y'all enjoy this music. Let's also hope that there are no crawl encounters, because despite the fact that they say there are no signs of crawl, there is a vortex that can in fact spawn on this room, so looks like we are getting the good luck here, thank goodness.
Yep.
I'll be going
Nice.
to the upper room, and we'll be performing our second frame walk, and let's see here, I'm gonna position myself just right about here. Okay, cool. Focus, and here I go.
So what Tempest is actually supposed to do at this point is you're going the wrong way. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so what Tempest is actually supposed to do at this point is he's supposed to go down like the left and right wing of Himuro, and both of these sides basically get you into the inside of the planet. And on both of the sides there is a button that you can press, which would, if you have activated both of the buttons, it would open the door. The door is shut tightly, by the way. Sure looks like that, yeah. Yeah, thanks to another instance of the frame walk, since the door is another non-permanent wall, Tempest can just skip right through that and save like about 3 to 4 minutes of just having to wander around this huge planet.
Alright, now for a little cutscene, or rather dialogue interaction, and then a very brief touchscreen minigame, which is funny because I recently realized that there's a little more intricacy to it than I originally imagined. I'll show it off a little just to waffle a bit, but like, aside from that, yeah. Alright. Okay, so we find out that we can actually use this computer to change the orbit of Himuro. It's effectively a man-made planet with the ability to filter light, and we can use that to weaken the crawl's barrier. So you've got the central field right here, but then you can also use the outer ring like so, and you just need to use the outer ring to change the planet's direction. I didn't know that you can use the center sphere on the touchscreen, but yeah, pretty funny how that works. Yeah, we have now opened up the way to Mado, but we're also going to get a little something special alongside that, something that might sound optional, but in fact will be necessary. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do another frame walk to leave from where we came.
That's the funny part of having to do frame walk to get in. We're also going to have to frame walk to get out, because basically how the door works is there's triggers on both sides that check for which way Rallon is facing, and if you hit those triggers, it basically just pushes you back the direction that you were looking.
There's a good example of that, yeah.
Yeah. So he's currently looking down, so he's going to get pushed back out. But because frame walk has us like facing the back against these triggers, they basically can push us in or out of this room. So yeah, we can use that to just completely skip this door.
So now I should be able to have my camera show what I'm actually doing for the audience to see it for themselves. Okay. Yeah, one of these days I'd love to have a hand cam set up to be able to show that on the fly, but alas, I am only as good as what my brain allows me to think of.
Yeah, I tend to want to keep the tech as low to the ground as possible. The fact that I'm on the tech team is actually quite terrifying. I don't know why they let me behind the computers, but they keep doing it.
I'm supposed to split here. We'll do that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I swear, I flip-flop between so many speed games that if I forget how to split something, then yeah, I'm gonna just. But
So we're right now showing what we found to Aldous, which is the relic crystal, and he tells us that it is the key to awakening the special form Spectrobe that Tempest briefly mentioned earlier, and that is the ultimate form Spectrobe. These basically exist in the form of geos, which are special items. And yeah, we need to go to second area of Genshi now. Basically, the game prompts it as a choice to make. We could go to Mado now and fight the Crawl, or we could go pick up an Ultimate Spectrobe, but we will need the Ultimate Spectrobe, so it isn't really a choice. We have to go to Genshi area too, so that's what we're doing.
yeah, the game lies to you just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and save just for safety's sake, but yeah, this is probably a good time to mention that the Spectrobe speedrunning community usually has it where any runs of the game are done on a fresh save, which for a physical cartridge might seem easier said than done. If you are like me though, and you have like an outwards mean to do so, then yeah, you're pretty much good to go. If you're not one of those people, I fully understand, and I do not blame you for that, because I'm just going to say it outright. I literally had to homebrew my 3DS in order to do so. But the good news is 3DS also has a little something called browser hacks, which means you can just pop up a special little website-triggered means of opening up a program called TWS Save Tool or something like that, which the program then is like basic enough that it works on browser hacks, and you can use it to erase your cartridge's save data like so. But we do allow emulator runs. However, one of the most recent leaderboard changes we've had within the community is that we now actually split emulator runs from hardware runs. So yeah. I'm gonna try one more frame walk coming up on this lava pool. It's purely optional to do, but it can save.
I was wondering if you were gonna go for it. Yeah, it's a very minor time save. It's like the least worth it one in the run, and but it's the most fun one. So, as Tempest earlier demonstrated, the relic crystal that we have with us basically can control the lava flows in this area, which can completely stop them. So, you know what that means? That sounds like an optional wall to us speedrunners, and therefore, Tempest is just going to flip right into this lava pool right here. This is what we refer to as the hot tub skip. So, yeah, enjoy that warm bath.
I love that. I love that name.
Yeah, it's super silly. It saves like maybe 2 or 3 seconds at best if you do it really well. So, it's really only worth it for the meme.
Yeah, pretty much. But I like my memes. The DNA of the soul. If only I could reach my soundboard right now, I would play that sound, but alas, I ain't doing that.
We've got this
So
like
now we
arena
have to-
here.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to
Yes,
explain it?
spherical and very round. You got to do the relic crystal 3 more times to stop the lava flow, and then that'll allow us to collect the geo for the ultimate spectrobe of fire known as Tindora. And that will be necessary to beat the game.
Worth mentioning that the Geo is technically in this lava pool already, and we also are absolutely able to clip into the lava pool, but unfortunately the trigger to interact with it isn't actually like activated until all the lava flows are stopped. So while we could go in here, we actually can't pick this thing up and skip having to freeze all the lava pools. So
Yeah, I hear that a
Time
lot.
saver.
Like, yeah, we can click through the door. The transition just ain't there.
Funny game like to be funny. It tells us, do I want to collect the thing that we need to beat the game, and we can say no.
You know, been getting into the Breath of Fire community, and that game has a ton of those of like, hey, would you like to screw up your run? Yes, no. Like, why? No, I don't want to solo the second to last boss. Why is that the option? Why is that the default? Ah!
luckily,
Imagine
this,
if Mega Mission did that, Sid.
Oh boy.
yeah, luckily this prompt isn't that harsh. So if we say no, we can just come back and pick it up again. It's not like, nope, you all said no once, so now you have to suffer the consequences.
Yeah. It's now been deleted from the inventory. Time to restart your game.
Yeah, fortunately that is not a thing.
deleted from the. Speaking of restarting the game, so if you really want to be able to experience the entire planet system, you do not want to do the speedrun, because by nature of skipping the story triggers, we lose out on getting to access one of the planets of the Nanairo system.
Yeah, we completely skipped like a lot of stuff in the story. There's like 2 boss fights that we never see, an entire planet that we never visit, and several other little outings, and even like a couple characters that we never even interact with.
Poexo with the very, very ancient little bit of, do you want to give half of the world to the Dragon Lord? Thus came... Oh, wait, I shouldn't say that. That'd be spoilers for a certain Switch game that people should play. Right, never mind.
I know, right?
anyways,
You're like,
hey,
that's spoilers for a decade old. Wait a minute, it's not decades old anymore.
Yeah.
Also, Square Enix's fault for not putting it on PC or other consoles at this current moment. Alas. Shout out to Dragon Quest builders. Anyway, so... Oh, gosh!
These tornadoes
Mado's
are
kind
just
of-
rip you apart.
Yeah, Mado is notorious for these really evil tornadoes. They're really fast here, and because of the way the screens work, especially if you're walking down, sometimes you get little to no time to really react to them, so you have to be
That's a horrible
absolutely...
spawn. Oh, no!
Oh my god.
That is a laughably bad spot.
Yeah.
That's almost
you
just
really
like,
have to
okay,
be,
got it, game. I'll reset, fine.
You really have to be
I'm
on
not
top of your reaction time here. But also there's a lot of tight spots here and a lot of spawns for vortexes here. What you can do is you can theoretically dodge most of these. Because of the way vortex aggro works, if they hit a wall, their aggro temporarily resets, and for a second or so they just kind of trail off in a random direction before they snap back onto Rowland and chase them down. So if you really know how to manipulate vortexes, you can dodge almost everything. But it's really tricky in these tight areas, and most of the time it's just more effective to just take the encounter head on and take the 13-second time loss, instead of trying to mess around with it and just ultimately running into the vortex anyways and losing even more time.
Alright. Hopefully this time, please, game. I ask that you stop bullying me. Okay, gotta go down. Yep, that's fine. That's one of my downsides of speedrunning this game. I can't believe I just dead-ended myself.
You know, I'm very pleasantly surprised that they found a planet or enough space to model a planet after Florida, because there's nothing but hurricanes and storms.
Oh no! Shout out to my friend J Mac, who's a Florida resident. Dang it! Ah!
There's a lot of days where it starts like raining real hard here, and I'm like, I hope they can't hear that through the mic. Then the dog barks, and everybody posts Frank or Z in chat, and I'm like, they can't hear the rain.
I swear, this is... I know you're trying to tell me that this show is cursed and all, but I refuse to believe that, and that, if anything, it's my own fault for...
I mean, there is a certain amount you can 100% dartboard it right on the runner, but this show has had some very dubious showings of games. The one that since we were just talking about Dragon Quest, we actually have we did a special on 1 and 2 where we did 1, and then we also did 3 as well, hero only. And bro, Swiler, I butchered his name again, but was doing 1, and he got to the final boss, and I think he told me his strength strat rolled like 25 points lower than he'd ever seen. Nice. Even after getting the Zenthian sword, he still barely killed the final boss. He was so mystified until he looked at his stats, and he's like, wait a minute! I'm 25 points below my PB strength. What the heck?
Good old RNG.
Yeah, it's just been like a rolling gag from then. It's like, no more cursed than any other no reset run. But it definitely feels like it.
This is a part where I feel like Zoro and just tend to get lost in some of the weirdest ways possible, even though the map geometry is technically some of the most, straightforward. If you know the path that you're going down, you can hardly get lost with this game. And yet, here I am, just proving that entirely wrong.
Oh, trust me, I've gone down a couple of wrong paths in this game as well, and I've speedrun this for God knows how long at this point, so it happens.
Especially if you juggle other speed games, it's super easy to, get lost.
Right now, though, we are coming up to the final boss sequence, so this will start with Ortorso, which is the crawl leader of this particular invasion, and there will be 2 more bosses after that. Time will not be on the final hit, though. It'll be when credits trigger, just so that we assure you there is still a bit of time left in the run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this fight right here is the reason why we need the ultimate form Spectrobe, because Ortorso basically has a barrier around him that completely negates any damage that we would be dealing to him, and the only way to break this barrier is to use the Geo. So Tempest is going to fully charge here, trigger the Geo, and that will break his barrier, and then we can start actually damaging Ortorso.
I love this theme so much. Beyond the Portals does something a little more generic, but I love this Geo-summoning theme way better.
Yeah, I was really, really disappointed when I played Beyond the Portals and they didn't have this banger of a theme anymore. Such a shame.
Okay. So this one's going to be still a little bit dicey, because Ortorso has that shockwave effect going for him as he walks, so that makes him very hard to confront in terms of physical damage, and I'm going to play just a little safe by using Gildragos' charge attack, and we can take out Orbucks and Orbix from a distance. I actually wonder why those 2 satellites have different names, but that's a very funny detail they have going, so hey.
Yeah, they just like to give them separate names for the boss minions. The optimal way of doing this, because the torso has... unfortunate.
Yeah, I tried to go for it. That's okay. There we go.
The idea of handling this fight would be, because of Ortorso's massive knockback, you can use Inca Flare's special, basically just walk up to him, use Inca Flare's special, and the knockback basically sends him ping-ponging back between Inca Flare and the wall, which allows you to get 3 hits back-to-back on him, which is 3/4 of his health gone right there. It is
The
pretty risky.
extermination crew, what's the problem?
If you get the timing wrong, that can really backfire on you, especially because in order to get close up to him, you have to get Rowland into close combat. But yeah, no problem in playing it safe here. And here's our second fight now, against this little spore guy here, Zelis.
Alright. Quick shout out, by the way, that Rowland in the English localization has his Japanese call out Ikuze kept in. That's how I first learned about Ikuze and in general, so it's like one of my first instances of like a Japanese language that I knew about and stuff, or Japanese phrase. That's just pretty dang cool in my opinion. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna... Oops. Okay, thankfully these enemies do not deal a massive amount of damage to Rowland, otherwise I'd be way more concerned.
Yeah, they're just a minor annoyance here. This is a very straightforward fight.
Oh wait, let's punch the weed.
Yeah, this is actually like the optimal strat. That's actually the optimal strat. Just like hit 2 Inca Flare specials and in between just get 2 punches in with Rowland, and that is exactly enough damage to kill Zelis here.
That was practically a perfect fight if it weren't for the fact that I had a little slip up at the beginning. Alright, so we're gonna get graciously healed, by the way, because apparently despite the fact that, despite the fact that we're the enemy, the spores of the flower originally healed us. But, we still have one more fight to go, and this is going to be the Ortorso evolving into Goblada, and that is going to be our final boss. Very intimidating design, if I do say so.
Yeah, one thing this game
Let's
nailed
really
is
do
just,
this! Ikuze!
One thing this game really has nailed, in my opinion, is just like the overall design of both the crawl and the Spectrobes. There's some really, really cool designs here.
Okay, so this one has 999 health, the maximum any character can have. I'm going to start off with charging
Don't
up
use
my
the Geo
gauge.
just yet.
I am... No, thank you for reminding me, though. Let's see here. Follow... Oh, it's gonna do a ranged attack first. That's okay. That's okay. Start with some fireballs. Fireballs!
So similar to a torso, this guy also has a barrier, but he doesn't put it up immediately, only once his health hits 2/3, as you can see there. So now we're gonna have to charge the Geo again and break through his barrier. And then we can continue the fight and just finish the job.
Tindera! Sorry, I had my anime protagonist moment there.
Need one of those every once in a while.
Oh, he jumped. That's not something he usually does. He just did a big leap. Oh yeah, he's doing it again. He's taking this very seriously. What?
Yeah, that's a cool thing about this fight.
Yeah.
As the fight goes on, he gets more and more moves.
Alright, come on. Let me have this one. I am on very good pace. Oh. Come on. Oh! That's a close range shockwave attack. Yeah, come on. Could use Gildragos here. Oh, yeah. That's damaged. We got him.
Nice.
Rippler. Nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gildragos
Okay.
is really, really good
coming
at
up
dealing
very
damage to this
soon.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, time is coming up very soon.
Right as you said, right?
About a minute from now.
Nearly, yeah. We still got a lot of dialogue to punch through.
At least it pulls the whole line of dialogue rather than like characters or words. It's always very pulls the entire.
Hey, Bram, what's up? Shout out to my pal Bram Hall V, fellow Jerseyan here. So we have officially stopped the crawl invasion of the Nanairo system, and we are going to go ahead and file a transmission report to Commander Grant. And... time.
So, I'm to understand we PB'd despite taking a side trip through Florida?
That is a very solid PB.
Yeah, very nice.
GG.
57 minutes flat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that was a good run, despite all those moments.
Yeah.
Ooh. I want to give a quick shout out to Fairy Tail, by the way. It's the reason why I'm wearing this shirt, because Natsu Dragneel is the protagonist known to use fire magic, and since we, by nature, have to use Tindera, the ultimate Spectrobe of flame, it only made sense to represent one of my favorite shonen series from Kodansha's publishing catalog.
It's
But,
not
shout
as
out
deep a
to Fairy
cut.
Tail.
Go ahead.
Not as deep a cut as what now?
Not as deep a cut as Rave Master, the manga that the artist drew before that, but...
Yeah, Hiro Mashima with Rave Master. That's funny, because I brought up Yuri Lowenthal earlier, voicing Rowland, and he is the voice of Haru Glory in the English dub of the Rave Master anime. So, yeah. And Michelle Ruff was Ellie, too, so it kind of fits in together quite well, really. But also, big shout out to Fairy Tail for celebrating its 20th manga anniversary. That series means quite a bit to me, just as Dragon Ball does. And that is a series that Hiro Mashima has admitted at the Q&A I attended 2 years ago that was like a huge inspiration for him. So yeah, I'd love to come back one of these days and show a little bit of Fairy Tail. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much for having me with Spectrobes. This game is, again, just a big nostalgia point from my childhood here. I'm also a huge Pokemon fan, naturally, but I also think I had a huge amount of respect for what Spectrobes tried to do. The character designs are awesome. The fact that it's still got a few games in definitely says quite a bit for it. And if Jupiter is ever able to bring it back one of these days, I would not be disappointed. I do believe the dev company still very much exists. I just think they're mostly making mobile games for the most part, to my recollection. Something like that. But, yeah, please try this game if you ever are curious. And also, if you'd like to speedrun any of the 3 titles between Spectrobes, Beyond the Portals, and Origins, join the Spectrobes speedrunning community. We have a Discord server that you can find the link to on our leaderboards. We'd be happy to teach you whatever you need to know. These are very fun games, in my personal opinion, and yeah, that's all I got to say for myself. Cyver, do you have any final words?
Yeah, pretty much just adding on to what you said earlier about if this game series ever gets revisited, would not be too disappointed with that. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people out there that would be very happy about that, because despite the last game in the series coming out in 2009, there's still a very, very active and dedicated community around these games to this day. So if you're not interested in Spectrobe speedrunning, but you just want to join like the casual fan community, there's also a Discord for that you can find. So yeah, feel free to stop by in either of those servers and say hi. Everyone will be happy to see you.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you'd like to follow me, by the way, my name is TempestMask1000 here on Twitch and YouTube. I've also got various social medias. I'm also trying to be a voice actor, and yeah, we'll see if that ever goes somewhere. But otherwise, if you ever want to give me a follow, it's purely optional, but it's always appreciated. I enjoy the company, and I'm just here to have fun and share that fun with y'all. But that's been me. Sid, what did you think of this game?
It's definitely a different take on the Pokemon type formula, having an arena-based combat. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Saw a lot of people that we haven't seen before, and it's very nice to see that. Also, want to remind those people that if you guys are still here, if you have any other suggestions, feel free to hit me up. You can very easily get access to me through the RPG Limit Break public Discord. My DMs are open, so if you guys have any game suggestions, there's also a channel for that as well. whether you're suggesting to run them yourselves or just a game in general. As long as I have some way to look in and talk to runners, let me know. I'm more than happy to allow everybody to have equal access to the channel in terms of both video games and players. We do our best to diversify as much as possible and not focus on the stuff that I like. It's a good thing having friends like Tempest that are willing to be like, hey, I got this RPG that you probably never heard of. But with that, thank you for the run, Tempest. Thanks for bringing this over here. Maybe we'll see another one of the Spectrobe games in the future. But for now, we're going to head off real quick and set up our next game, which will be Mystic Quest Rando. We did want to do a quality of life mod, didn't work out, so we will be pinning that and coming back to it later. So if you guys are dying for some vanilla Mystic Quest, it will be happening. We just got to make sure that it works out for our runner. But with that, see you guys in a minute.
Ciao, me.
Back and forth and yap. It'll be fine.
Hello, everybody. We got a quick old transition, kind of, sort of. Randos do take a little bit of time. Mystic Quest also has got a very nice crop. It's super easy to figure out where the edge of the screen is. Trackers, we want to make sure you guys actually know what's going on, all that fun stuff. But we're finally ready, so I'm going to stop backpedaling and start forward pedaling. Off to you, Heb.
Awesome. So welcome. This is the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer, and I'm here to showcase some of the newer things with a lovely seed in our version 1.7.2. Quick intro into some of the flag sets that we're running today, some of the things we're showing off, if I could spell my name correctly. That'd be awesome. So we're going to do Overworld Shuffle. We're going to do Crest Shuffle. We are going to do a new feature called Elemental Shuffle. This is going to assign all the enemies, including the Dark King, an element out of fire, water, earth, wind, and thunder. Because remember, thunder's an element, not lightning. Don't be confused. It's not lightning. It's thunder. And so those enemies will receive those corresponding weaknesses. So if they're a fire enemy, they'll be weak to water. But to make it even spicier, we've resistant shuffled. So on the tracker here, right below me, you'll see the elements, and I'll explain this before we get started. You read it from left to right. So that little wavy brown wave is earth element. Anything that was weak or resistant to earth before is now weak or resistant to water. And so you read that left to right, and we'll go from there. But Sid, could you count me down, please?
Sure. We'll give you a nice little fiver. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Awesome. So we also do have the music shuffle turned on. This is Overworld Shuffle. Nice, landed on Foresta from the start here. I do, as a precaution, have the spoiler log available to me if we need it, but I don't think we'll need it. Tristan's just hanging out with Kaylee's mom. Don't question it. Companion locations have been shuffled as well. So they're just going to be hanging out here. Nothing really much here in Foresta today, but that's okay. We'll just kind of move through and go along.
I mean,
as we
didn't you try to teach your mom how to throw ninja stars as a kid?
I mean, I wouldn't pick Tristan as my teacher because he's crap at throwing them. He can't
true. That's why he's still sitting there, because he hasn't figured it out yet.
He's been here for an age trying to teach her while trying to learn himself. It's just awful. Oh, she's selling arrows to me. I don't need those. Let's go raid Otto's attic. So you might have noticed that the overworld's been shuffled here, and I have free reign of the world. If you're familiar with vanilla, you know that all your progression on the overworld is gated behind story progression, i.e. hitting certain key elements of the story and progressing the story along. Randomizer removes that because, typically when you're playing a randomizer, you're familiar with the vanilla game. So we're just going through, and we are going to, move around the world. And I've been playing this for, I think 4 years now. I've been playing the rando. So I have been just tweaking settings to keep things infinitely fresh, and it's been working out. Like, I love the breadth of options we have available in this randomizer. I think things quality of life wise have been great as well. You might have noticed that I picked up a sword there, and if you're familiar with the vanilla game, let's go ahead and go into a battle real quick and show off first quality of life feature. You know that sometimes the screen flashes. We have Thunderfish. Awesome. And I'm being jumped, which is fine. This is why we safety safe. You might have noticed there on that axe swing, the screen didn't flash. That's not a symptom of the frame rate. We actually have it enabled in the randomizer that you can turn off the screen flash when you swing weapons and when you save the crystals. So that way, if you were photosensitive before and that was an aspect that really hindered your enjoyment of the game or made it to where you couldn't play it because of photosensitivity, that's a non-issue. So there's been a lot of quality of life improvements sprinkled into the rando. You might have noticed the battlefields as well. I stepped on a gray battlefield. The battlefields have been color-coded and had their sprites updated, so when you shuffle their rewards, if you're blue-green color deficient, you're not left in the wind going, what is this battlefield? I still don't know what's here. There's now a little money bag on the money reward battlefields. The X for XP with the swords, we left vanilla, because that's just handy. And then if there's a item reward, a blue battlefield with a chest icon on it will give you a item reward. So again, you're seeing the elemental enemies here. Everybody rolled blue for water. The names that the enemies generate is randomized. So these are water mint mints. Sometimes they'll be hydro mint mints. Sometimes they'll be the names will be randomized, and the palette's actually applied in the ROM directly. So you don't even have. We didn't have to. The developer didn't have to come in and handcraft brand new sprites for every single element. Retexture. He worked some wizardry on the back end to save him some quality of life, which we love for our developers. Shout outs to the people who make all the magic happen on the back end, like our tech crew, because without them, we wouldn't have a show. I wouldn't be here yapping to Sid about the randomizer, would I?
Yeah, I mean, if it was just like me doing the tech, we'd have been here for an extra 15 minutes. So,
right? The people behind the scenes who make all the magic happen really deserve like most of the credit. I'm just someone here yapping and is decent at playing the game. 900 GP, that's what we love to see. And we actually have one of our the companion I might be taking the end game here. So there's a new game info screen here. We're in Save the Crystals mode, which means my companions are going to level up every time I save a crystal. And here's their spell list. So Kaylee's kind of stacked. She gets Exit, Flare, and White. Tristram only gets Blizzard and Cure. I'm just Blizzard and Heal. Phoebe's got Flare. I don't know what element Dark King is though, so I might not take her. And then Ruben's got Flare and White, which sounds great on paper, but Ruben's kind of awful. Seeds. Anyways, you always pop off for those. Now I can start duping those. More seeds. Hello. Double seeds. Let's go. I don't even have to dupe. I'm at 6 now. I'll probably dupe a little bit. And I'll explain what seed duping is. Don't worry. I explain it almost every time.
We are having a question in chat with somebody that's not very familiar with the vanilla game. I'd imagine that this is a bit more of a robust answer at the end of the day, but what is the win condition specifically for this seed set right now?
So for this seed set, we have to find the crest that gets us to max ship. We have to defeat all 4 of the major bosses. So that's Pazuzu, Ice Golem, Flamers, Rex, and Hydra. And that will save our Sky Coin. It'll be automatically added to our inventory. We will also need to just be a high enough level to comfortably take on the Dark King. I noticed I said we also need Captain's Cap. So we need Captain's Cap, Sky Coin, and the corresponding crest. You might have noticed that I left off Dragon Claw and Mega Grenades, and that's because we're running with a brand new setting called Freed Ship. Which frees max ship. I'll actually show you. Press select. Little known fact here. Max ship is freed from Spencer's Cave from the start. So you do not need to free his ship with mega grenades and finding your way to Spencer's Cave with Thunder Rock. That has all been done for you. That adds a little more variety and allowing items to be shuffled into max ship early. Why am I going in here? Because I'm yapping. That's why.
Autopilot is autopiloting.
Right, exactly. My autopilot brain's kicking in, but, we're fine. Let me take note of what... And you might notice I'm walking into basements and other places where crests are, but I'm not taking them. I'm taking a mental note of where the crests are because we have a setting turned on called Crest Shuffle, which means Max Ship is not guaranteed to be behind Mobius. It could very well be behind Libra or Gemini or Mobius. It could be behind any of the 3 crests. I don't know until I start checking them, which breeds a little bit of life in here. Let's see if...
Yeah. So for any of you that may be less familiar with this, there are a few different settings for what the objectives are. Find the MacGuffins, find the other MacGuffins, find a different set of MacGuffins, or kill the final boss. There's a variety of it. Since this is, you said 1.72, this has gone through a lot of iterations, so there are quite a few options of how to play the game, and either keep it simple or keep it short, or both.
Correct, or make it complex. I might need to fight Mr. Krabs at a low level here, so we're going to take a safety save
I hate
again.
complex so much, I forget that it even exists.
It's okay. One of the other quality of life features that was added in 1.7 is the ability to peek or check and see what items mini bosses are gating. Beforehand, it was not possible to peek those chests. I'm actually going to take a dive here. I'm too low level. There we go. It is what it is. He's very strong. He's a flame crab, by the way, which is cool.
There's somebody asking in chat, are we on progressive gear or?
No progressive gear. So items could be anywhere. What progressive gear means, for those who might not be versed, progressive gear simply means that if I find a weapon, let's say if I find a claw, progressive gear would guarantee that I'd start with cat claw, then find charm claw, then find dragon claw in that succession. Whereas not having progressive gear on means I could open a chest and get the tier 3 version of that weapon immediately. I can open up a chest and get mega grenades. So that could be a thing. So right now what I'm doing is checking all available locations. I'm looking for spells, honestly. Spells, just like in vanilla, are your main gatekeeper for a lot of your damage. Yeah. And it's still the same old Mystic Quest at the end of the day. Glass cannon builds are viable builds because if you can outdamage your opponents and live long enough, you win. So,
I mean, we had a call before the run even started.
Methodology.
Yeah, we had a shot call before the run even went out that we'd find Arrow in Mr. Boney's Wild Ride. So we'll see if that holds true or not.
Yeah,
there was a lot of fire today.
Yeah, there is. And I'm playing on expert logic, so this is going to be difficult. There we go. So I am locked into this fight. Let's see if I can outspeed these ghosts. If I can at least take down one ghost formation, I might stand a chance here. No miss. Thank you. Outsped. Very nice. Go down. Yes. We love to see it. Man, a miss. The game felt really bad for me for bumping into this this formation. I didn't need to fight. I accidentally took a right turn there.
Giant's Axe doing what Giant's Axe does best, killing things.
Right. There is a reason we started Kaylee off with Giant's Axe regardless of her levels, because originally we started her with regular axe and it felt bad. It was just kind of a feels bad man setting. It was why is she useless?
Had to get Kaylee too. That's one of the other interesting things is they shuffle through party members a lot. So some of them actually have a second form where they get better stuff.
And we have, speaking of shuffling party members, we've shuffled their spell books, which is why when I opened up the battle, Ashen's making note of how I have the music shuffled, so I keep popping between the overworld theme and the smooth jazz of the credits for battle, and it's making it a little hard to balance things. But yeah, that's the music shuffle. What are you gonna do? I love the chaos of the music shuffle. But yeah, we made that quality of life change so that way Kaylee is a viable partner early game. If they were weak to bombs or weak to axe.
Let's go get Blind Tristram. That's the better option, obviously.
If I couldn't take out Mr. Krabs, I doubt I could take out Medusa here, so I am just going to back out of this one too. What does the spellbook look like in the seed? It looks pretty good. I gave a quick recap earlier, but Ruben has White and Flare, Phoebe has Flare, and Kaylee has White and Flare as their big attacks. Tristan has nothing really. And yes, we're running Dungeons Internal Shuffle. This is not the layout of vanilla. You might notice me walking through doors and go, that's not where that's supposed to go. And you are correct. That is not where that is supposed to go.
It worked perfectly for me because I don't remember what these are. These are vanilla.
Exactly. See? Sid's on board. He's like, yeah, that looks like that. Sure. Why not? So getting a little
gaslighting
let's check P Tower. Correct. Normally in P Tower here at Pazuzu's Tower, I would not be able to navigate a lot of this because it's gated behind Dragonclaw, but because the internal floors are shuffled, it actually opens up access to this floor much sooner sometimes. Sometimes it's close to vanilla, and I have to have Dragonclaw to navigate anyways, but we're going to see. These are very high-level enemies, these mages, so we're going to see if they play nice. There we go. Rip Earth. So these are Earth Element mages. You might not notice because they look pretty close to their vanilla maroon robes, but those are green. I mean, brown and green orbs. So they're sand mages. What would allow me to deal with Crab Boss? Well, he's Fire Element. So if I pick up Flare, funny enough, Water Weakness has been rolled into Fire Weakness. So hitting him with any sort of fire spells would help. I cannot navigate this. Or just being high enough level to power my way through Brute Force the damage. Moon Helmet or Apollo Helmet would also help because fire resistance would greatly increase my survivability chances here. So I'm really just kind of looking around. I think I'm looking for explosives because if I can get any sort of explosives, just take a note of who's here. Nobody. If I could find explosives, I can go explore Bone Dungeon, defeat Skullus Rex, and level up Kaylee to level 15. Having a higher tier partner not only would exponentially increase her HP pool, which would help a lot with survivability, it would also unlock her next set of spells. So for her spells, Kaylee gets fire at 15 and exit at 15. That would also speed up the exploration immensely. So...
And I
just need go ahead.
I do love the art in this game, especially with the enemies having
so
multiple
good.
sprites. It's unfortunate that we're clipping through them so quick, but I mean that's kind of what you need in a rando. If you see more than one sprite of the enemy, it's a big problem. Yeah.
Correct. And I mean the bosses get to show off that stuff so well because they live for a bit longer, and it's such a good visual tell from a gameplay standpoint, especially for players who might not be familiar with RPGs. Like, if you know the story of Mystic Quest, you know it was designed to be baby's first RPG, and it does that, of course, in spades, and that's why a lot of people tend to kind of brush it to the wayside. It's like, oh yeah, it's an entry-level RPG. It's not very engaging. It's kind of boring. But the innovations they did to facilitate that, some of them are really good. Like you mentioned, Sid, the transforming sprites as they take more damage, huge quality of life for new players, but also just like a great visual design aspect. Like, could you imagine fighting like Final Kefka, and instead of him being the same, let's say, amazing sprite work that he is, like he had subtle changes as he took more damage, showing indications that you're making progress in the battle. That would have been fantastic.
It's a more innovative way of
that.
I mean, even with modern games too, like if you're fighting a dragon and you're slowly chipping off fangs and stuff like in Monster Hunter versus like, okay, the bar is kind of close to the middle, so I'm about halfway through.
Right.
All right, now I'll look back at the boss.
Exactly. It like, don't get me wrong, I love a good health bar because sometimes I get lost in the sauce and I just need to see, can I be risky? But being able to visually reflect your progress in battle, I think is such a great design choice. And seeing them implement that here on the SNES with, again, a baby's first RPG, which is a lower spec cart than the other mainline Final Fantasies. So a lot of the production hazards we have here, and here's Earth Element really giving me the business. Can I run here? Yes, I can run. I could start to run from these battles. Nice. All right. Let's top up and save. Let's do it again. This battlefield has a blue reward, an item reward, which is why I'm going to fight my way through it. Ooh, spooky ghosts. Flaming ghosts. I'm on fire. Don't worry, it's fine. Happens all the time. Anyways, but yeah. The cart for Mystic Quest is a lower spec cart, so it doesn't allow for as rich a color palette. The character sprites are limited in the color palette, obviously lower memory limitations, which means you can't fit as large sound files, you can't fit as large like data in general on this cartridge. So, you know, seeing the wizardry they worked with that back in the day is really great. All right, I'm going to try to get formations that don't have these bone ghosts. I mean, these
I hate
skeletons.
this. I hate everything about this.
Nah, it's fine. I'm in danger.
I do appreciate that you're not like locked into the fights, because that was always like one of the worst ones in earlier iterations.
Right.
Kind of getting like soft locked because you just didn't save.
Yeah, I'm trying to run from this fight instead of opening a save. Actually, I might be able to win. You know what? Let's try it. Why not? I do have a knight sword. See, there we go. I just need to be able to have a turn, and then nope. We lied. I need to hit the mummy first. And unexpected attacks really get me here. But yeah, this is another like spice of variety I like of the randos. Sometimes I get bodied and I have to think my way through these like difficult encounters. And sometimes running away is a total viable option here. So I am going to run from this fight.
Yeah,
I got a little
for those
strong
that have mentioned that they're not super familiar with the game, it is not normally this difficult. Not even close. It's a very good entry-level RPG. And if you've played RPGs, at least one, like you can probably blitz through this game in like 10 hours of playtime. And that's like if you're doing every nook and cranny. It's very short, quick, compact, especially with a quality of life mod out there. And then this rando is pretty, depending on how deep you want to get, I would say it's fairly easy to pick up because the game systems are very straightforward, and the quality of life, you know, as you can tell with the tracker here that shows you what elements things are weak to and massive amounts of resource. It's a pretty fun one to pick up, for sure.
Exactly. I'm literally getting I have the entire world open to me now with those 3 coins, by the way. I just have no weapons to explore any of the main locations, so I'm getting like reverse progression here where I have everywhere to go and nowhere to do anything with. So
I can go everywhere, but I die everywhere as well. I don't like this.
Correct. I could go everywhere and do nothing at those locations. It's great. It's a sightseeing trip. I'm just going to go and take pictures and it'll be fine. Spell charges. Go ahead.
Oh,
yes.
You're the expert with this game, not me.
That's fine. Yeah, no, spell charges are definitely a thing too that carried over from the old D&D design that you might be familiar with Final Fantasy 1. So we have white spells, black magic spells, and wizard spells. We just got a pretty good one with Meteor. So. Oh. Unfortunately, spells in this game are not gated by their tier, but by where you get them in the vanilla game. They're progression scaled. So if I use Thunder, it's technically weaker than using Arrow because you get Arrow later in the game. Don't ask me why it works like that. It just does. But yeah, now we're doing damage. Like we're doing good here. Let's see.
Yeah, so it's very similar to 1, but you can get all 3 on a single character since there's only 2. And the seeds are basically your ethers, which didn't exist in Final Fantasy 1 until more modern iterations. But those can be duped, so you can effectively have infinite magic with some very simple glitch activation. The funny thing is, like this is going back probably about 5, maybe 10 years at this point, that speedrunners didn't know about the seed duping until some random rolled into chat was like, why aren't you guys duping seeds? Is it banned? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? and it just it spitballed from there, and it was like, wait a minute. You saved our soul.
Right? We got a question in chat. Is like, when am I going to run a seed in which the only available spell in the game is other than life is Quake? And my answer to that is never, because I love myself as a human being, and I don't want to do that kind of mental damage to myself. Quake is terrible. Not because it's not a cool spell. Quake is normally a cool spell in most Final Fantasy entries, but unfortunately, Quake is the first spell outside of Cure that you get that does damage to enemies, and therefore the scaling is atrocious. It's awful. It's straight garbo. Now, there will be instances where I use it. Correct. I just got corrode gas there, which is I want to get. Wow. See, this is why Tristram shouldn't have been hanging up at Kaylee's house. He's passed on his terrible accuracy to her. See, this is why Tristram was there. He's there to sabotage me. It's okay, though. Got hit by corrode gas. For those who don't know, corrode gas is a one-hit KO move. If it's like a 50-50 on the chances on whether or not it KOs you or not. Axe accuracy is terrible, but we do have a claw now. So claw opens up Wintry Cave. It opens up Pyramid if we want to go there. If we get explosives, we can drop down and fight Ice Golem. So we're making progress. We can also explore a couple more locations. Let's go ahead and check down here. I don't have exit, so I can't do this optimally, but we're going to check anyways because I'm desperate for any sort of progression.
Also, for a newer player,
we have 2 red chests.
We do have Cure on the main character, you may be noticing that we're using a different spell with Kaylee that's actually life, but the way that it's programmed will just full heal a character, so it's basically full life rather than actual life. It's very powerful, and you really only get it at the end of the game, so abuse it if you've got it, because it's better to use 2 charges than however many.
Remember, Baby's first RPG, they give you life early. Every partner comes with life. So, like, Ben doesn't get it till, like, halfway through the game. Yeah, you're good, yeah. Ben doesn't get it till halfway through the game, but every partner comes with life by default. So, like, they're literally, like, hand-holding you safety net. Like, I don't want you to die, baby bird. Fly, please.
I mean, it also has another use on the final boss by overflowing the HP cap and killing them instantly.
True.
Because we're not going to be able to do that. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, correct. For folks who are wondering when we get to Dark King, like, how am I going to handle that? I cannot kill him. I have to take him out the old-fashioned way, because that has been patched out of the randomizer. Now, if you play Improved Vanilla, you can leave that bug in and still kill him. But hey, we got explosives. Note to our audience, please don't hand these to Phoebe. She's terrible with them. If you played Vanilla, you know that every time that woman has explosives in her hand, she's coming. There she is. She either collapses a cave or was like, hey, please don't do this thing, and then does bad things with explosives. We don't tend to give them the
and it's just a blow off hand, have to take her to the doctor.
Correct. Unfortunately.
And one of the other
otherwise
things
she's the perfect partner.
So for those in chat not super familiar, chat's keeping on top of it, but we want to make sure it's reflected in the video as well. The weapons themselves actually offer progression. Swords can poke switches, axes cut down trees, bombs can be used for certain things depending on which bomb you have, either close range or long range. It's usually the chucking bomb, I think. Mega, the second tier, or is it third? Or
Mega is the third tier. So right now I have the tier 2, the jumbo bombs.
Jumbos, yeah. But once we get those, we can throw bombs, and that'll allow us access to certain areas. And then the claws basic allow us to climb vines, and we can actually hook them later once we get the claw shot, which is tier 3 as well. So there's a lot of progression tied to weapons.
A lot of dungeon exploration, and we'll be able to climb up walls as well. And we actually just got like all of our major progression in like one shot. We also just got flare and white. So now we're strunk. Let's go back and get revenge on a crab for making me look silly, and then we'll check the live force. Actually, first, let's tier up, because we only need bombs to get through this dungeon. It's the only weapon progression gate we have for a bone dungeon, and that's to be able to blow the teeth off the skull. Also, great dungeon design, by the way. I have yet to see any other game that's like, hey, this door is a giant skull with teeth blocking your way. Blow it open with explosives. Like, that's something I'd love to see in a modern RPG.
Or you can go the Chrono Trigger route, where like you have to hit a switch for the first few, and then the other ones you just open by hand. It's just inconsistent. Right. Oh man, chat's got my brain cooked right now. Phoebe is just a blind Megumine. Oh no, I'm terrified of that idea. Explosion!
Explosion! So normally this guy's supposed to be weak to. Let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna see if this works. It might not.
Does blind
no effect.
Spells?
Not high enough level. It's fine. It's fine. I think that was a Thunder Flamer, so normally it's supposed to be weak to Earth and Fire, but it got shuffled around. But it's fine.
Does best.
He went down anyways. Yep. Yeah, Holy rolled Holy weakness, so anything that I can normally kill with Cure or Life, I can still kill with Cure and Life. And then Wind weakness is still Wind weakness. So you notice there you didn't get strobe effect by the crystal being saved. That, again, shout-outs to our dev Wild Ham for putting in that quality of life. Because I know some folks, photosensitivity can be rough, and like saving the crystals is like a flashbang warning waiting to happen. Because it is a intense strobe effect. Being able to take that out without compromising the integrity of the game is great. And again, if you play Improved Vanilla, that's under the quality of life settings. You could turn that on and start playing Improved Vanilla with no strings attached. It doesn't affect your seed. Like, you can have me and Sid could roll the same seed, and he can turn on the flashing light effects, and I can turn them off, and it won't change anything at all. We'll still be playing the same seed. So
Yeah.
that's great that is just a quality of life setting.
It's always one of
Also,
those
love
cool
this
things.
boss music.
It's one of
We
those
rolled
like
boss
very
music for this dungeon.
It's one of those unspoken things
Sorry,
that
go ahead.
devs do that a lot of people that don't even like think about how much a pain in the butt it is. But man, those of us that need it are extremely thankful for it. Please keep doing it.
Right?
We very much appreciate it. We don't say it often enough, but we do.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, if you're
Okay,
if
I
you're
remember
wondering,
this dungeon,
hey,
and that's the first room.
it is, exactly. Yeah, we are navigating backwards here. Actually, we leveled up to tier. What am I doing? Walking out like a pleb. Kaylee has exit now. And again, nice little quality of life there. NPC locations are set to include, yes, chat. So NPCs are set to maybe have key items, maybe not. They are set to the include status. So there's 3 tiers for item locations. There is prioritize, which means just like in vanilla, that location will always have a key item. There's include, which means maybe yes or no, that location will have a key item. And then there is exclude, which means that location will never have a key item. So the NPCs are set to include, which means they might have a key item. We're gonna pop a flare here. Let's and you know what, just to add insult to injury, I'm gonna ask Mr. Krabs a question for 500 damage, but that's cool because we're gonna do a cool 1177 with flare. And you know what, do it again and hit him with a double.
Hey, cool. More than one
There
sprite.
we go. Correct.
All
We
of
got
them
2.
sprites. Yeah!
Correct. We got a crest. So now I can start crest checking locations. I believe Fireberg did have in the vendor basement a Gemini crest. I could be wrong. Could be Mobius. We'll see. Yes, it was Gemini. Let's warp. Where are we? We're in Aquaria now. Good information. Still on the same continent. I could exit out. I thought I had Wakewater for a second. I forgot. Where else can I go that has a warp? Libra, I don't... No, it was Libra. That was vanilla. Another cool feature out of the rando, if you use exit on the overworld, which you couldn't do before, you're now taken back to the beginning area of the game, like where you first loaded in. We're going to hit the dab bed real quick. I hate that it's called that, but it's completely accurate. Double dab. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say
that will restore all of our spell charges.
Chad's wondering who's got the higher WPM between you and Argrick, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Heb lets me talk, which is a very dangerous prospect, but one I do appreciate nonetheless.
I agreed to have you talk with me. I work best when I'm bouncing off somebody else anyway. So it's great that, to have you here as the host still talking to me and not just letting me yap solo for an hour, because that would be a thing.
It wouldn't be prudent on Father's Day to make you do all the work.
Correct. It would be, just is what it is. Let's go see if Squidite has anything here now that we can actually navigate this dungeon. Before, when we came in here, we did not have a claw, so we could not climb down this wall, nor did we have explosives to blow open this door here that's been sealed by rubble. Let's just get that out of the way here. And hey, straight to Squidite. Do you have anything? Oh, he does. All right. What element? Let's see. Oh, so much thunder today. We have a lot of thunderous bosses.
I do appreciate that.
Now,
we landed,
technically-
go ahead.
I was going to say, normally, we don't... Normally we have a little more variety here, but... yeah, just a lot of bosses with thunder element. So you were saying, Sid?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very lucky of us to have landed like 3 different wizard spells so quickly. Definitely lowers the initial curve on this.
Yeah, because it's like a night and day difference almost with how drastic the change is between having spells that do damage and not having spells that do damage. We're actually going to take... This is the more dangerous route, but I want to take it anyways. So we're going to go ahead and try to take on not Flamerous Rex, Dual-Headed Hydra here. So we'll see if we get lucky with the element shuffle here and see if he rolls something good. I do have white as a backup though. So I'll be able to do damage regardless. It's just a matter of how much damage and if I can triage my way through it properly. If I can't, we'll just come back to it later. But welcome to the Door Nexus, Sid. This is someone who's not familiar with the game. If you already weren't liking Lava Dome's layout and how intense and confusing it can be, welcome. You now hate this place even more because it's all been shuffled amongst itself.
At least now I have an excuse to get lost.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the first floor, like as soon as you walk into Lava Dome, that first room has like 7 different doors to begin with. So now that they're all shuffled amongst each other, this room right here, where you first walk in, this is like, there's like 7 different doors here. So having them all shuffled amongst each other can be quite headache inducing. I do need megas for whatever that is, but I might not even need it. Dead end?
So chat's noticing, or at least pointing out, that white doesn't get added into the resistance shuffle, and the other part of chat is acknowledging that is because white is non-elemental.
Correct. There's suspicion that they wanted it to be a water element spell, much like Blizzard, but then nixed that. I wonder if that was like a dev saying, hey, this is too hard, otherwise let's provide a non-elemental spell, which would also explain why Phoebe still gets it. When you take her to the end of the game, and she still does mad damage with it because she has max magic. Like if you check the stats sheet, she has 99 magic, which actually no, she has 104 because she has armor that bumps it up a couple points past cap. Yeah, she's juiced. Golems.
Nice.
Or Arvzards. You know, Kaylee, I really want to take you to the end of the game and show off a different partner other than Phoebe. And you missing those axe swings is hurting me on a personal level.
Take the sunglasses off. We are indoors.
Right? We're not the Blues Brothers. We don't need to be cool. I promise. I'm not cool to begin with, so it's fine. All right, so this branch is thankfully led to a dead end. It doesn't go into a recursive loop, so I don't have to worry about that. We can go through here and then drop down and explore the other half of this dungeon. I will find me a big lizard at some point, I promise. And then we'll be 2 crystals down. This is another thing I like about Overworld Shuffle too, though, is sometimes, especially on Expert Logic, I'm forced to play the game out of a certain order. Whereas normally you would fight the bosses as Flameless Rex, Ice Golem, Dual Head Hydra, and Pazuzu. I don't have access to Ice Golem right now, so I have to go find Rex. Hydra, and fight them instead. Hey, Libra Crest. Very nice, very nice, very nice.
So, it's looking very close to completely open at this point.
Almost. So I have a feeling that the other half of this dungeon where I need to go fight Hydra is gated behind. Let me exit out and come back in really quick and check. I'm pretty sure I need mega grenades to go fight Hydra. So this is a case where I'm going to need megas and come back. The flags themselves, I could technically complete without having mega grenades, but because of the requirements to get to the boss, I need to complete that. Let's see.
This is like one of those tricky seeds. It's like within the first 30 minutes, like, oh, baby seed, and then it takes like 2 hours to finish anyway.
Yeah, hopefully we won't hit that 2-hour mark. But again, I'm just scanning right now to see where we can go. Winter Temple. I can't check vendor basement yet. I don't have wake water.
We've done quite a few 7 or 8 hour shows. We usually like to know they're coming, but trust me, we got the stamina for it.
Correct. Yeah. So we're going to go to Alive Forest. I've skipped it before, but now that I have an axe, I can really kind of go in there. Alive Forest can have good things. It depends on how much Giant Tree plays nice. And then we can also hit up the mine. So we have 2 crests here. Let's see what we got. Mobius is one we don't have.
You know, I am seeing a lot of chat interaction during this as well for community helping us route on the fly. I can only imagine that if you guys are interested in learning this, you'll get the same help of figuring it out in the Discord.
Oh yeah, the community Discord is great for helping out new players, especially. We started a new player program recently called Shrug to Speed, which I was one of the founding members of that program, and I could not include shrugging, not include shrugging into the program name because that's kind of Ben's MO. But it's geared towards ramping you up to be able to play on the more complex settings of the randomizer, but also just kind of learning the ins and outs of the game, and getting people to find their threshold of enjoyment. Because while not everybody does want to play this randomizer as a speed game, it is a very fun speed game, I will say. There's a reason I keep coming back to it. Let's see dupe here, because I'm out of spells. So here's your tutorial. On Ben, go to item, pick the item you want to +1, use it. On your partner menu, and your partner has to be on manual, back all the way out to run away. Because you have negated your action, you'll now be up 1 seed. The speculation is because the game is programmed on a big bowl of spaghetti, the way that works is when you go to queue up a use of a consumable item, it adds +1 to the consumable item count. And then when you use it, the programmers just programmed it to subtract 2 from that count. You are interrupting at the step where it does +1, and that's why it adds 1 item to your count there. At least that's our speculation. I don't think any of us have actually taken the time to prove that, but that is the speculation there. Let's see. Anything over here? Nothing. And Keedra's over here.
And it's it kind of falls in the vein of like the W item glitch with like Final Fantasy VII, like pluses, minuses, and they just don't expect you to have a specific interaction because nobody tested it. That's one of the beautiful things about older games like this, is there's just some very simple oversights that break the game in half, and it's all the better for it, honestly. You don't have to do it.
Right, like who?
If you want to flare everything, I'm not going to stop you either.
Who doesn't love a good underflow? Mega Man didn't give us anything. Affectionately named because he gives you mega grenades, and he's never given you his name in the vanilla game. Where were mines? Mines. I might need to go fight a mean genie. I believe it was up here. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go fight us a mean genie. And yeah, I will need to find Wakewater and then go back to Aquaria to thaw out the upper region. Unless I find a warp into that section, because it is frozen. I cannot travel up there because it's frozen off with ice crystals. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII is the only game folks willingly use mega elixirs in, thanks to W item.
Yeah, it's the too good to use item clause is a crippling game state we're all stuck in. I finally started using them in Chrono Trigger, Dalton Imperial, Rando. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, this is actually nice when you don't have to heal one character at a time.
Right?
Oh, imagine full party heals being effective.
Hey, speaking of Wakewater, I love talking things into existence. That's another hazard of streaming randomizers, I find, is I'll just be out here like thinking out loud, like I need this, it could be here, I think it's gonna be here. By the way, just speak it into existence. Gotta grease the wheel a little bit.
The worst part is when you're like, it'll be another hour before I find cat claws. An hour later, yep, well, I shouldn't have said anything.
I hate being right sometimes. It's fine though. We're gonna fight the big mean genie. We'll see what element they are. Aegis Shield. We love to see that. So talking up some of the items I've gotten here while I'm making my way to this fight. Gaia Armor, the final tier of the armor equipment, allows me to become immune to poison as well as have insomnia, so I can't be put to sleep anymore. Also resistant to wind and water and lightning. And then the Aegis Shield grants me immunity from petrification and paralysis. So
I do love the little dev feature for this that showcases the last thing you picked up to make it a lot easier to commentate. I remember when you first didn't have that and you guys were pointing it out last time, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually nice.
Yeah, you have a one-frame window. You used to have a one-frame window to see what items people were picking up because they were just mashing through the menus so quickly. And then our dev was like, hey, let me just put a little box here that shows what you got.
Perfect, right over there over your NPC anyway. I guess the only thing it really stops you from seeing is whether they're on manual or auto, but there's so few times you ever want to put them on auto other than by accident. It's not usually an issue.
Correct. Oh, let's see. Ew,
That's the other
gross. We got Quake.
I distinctly remember the auto on NPCs being abysmal in this game. Just swing.exe.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes they can be nice. I will say that auto has a place. Specifically when you're fighting an enemy that you know might put Ben into a down state. If you set your partner on auto, they will basically they'll match the 50-50. So if the enemy downs Ben, they'll cast life. If they don't down Ben, they'll cast cure. So in the situation where you don't want to be stuck in one or the other, they'll basically guarantee the audible, and you don't have to account for it. It's just like if then the setting, which is great. It's almost like like a mini gambit, if you would, if you're familiar with 12. It's the world's worst gambit, and it only has like a couple of niche functions, but hey, a gambit nonetheless.
I'll die on the hill that like the gambit system is the superior way to do AI controlled party members, and it's frustrating that none of the games use it.
It's a programmer's like dream system. Like if you have programmer brain, Gambit is where you live. You're like, I want if then this, I want if then that. This scenario needs this scenario needs that. So on and so forth.
I mean, I love the devs. They make great games, but I'm sorry guys, you don't know what I want to do in combat. You know what you think I want to do in combat.
Life Temple has...
I guess, like, on that...
the best spell in the game.
A bit of a note there is,
Go
like,
ahead.
shout-outs to the trackers or races and stuff like that. It's very nice for the audience to be able to keep up, and it's a good thing we have ours today, because I tend to play without one or manual, and good grief, does my tracker get out of date. You might as well just be guessing.
It's so easy. It's so easy to not have everything lined up, and you're like 6 items back. You're like, what did we miss? Everything. We missed everything. I'm sorry, I haven't updated my tracker. Before I go into Ice Pyramid, let's actually go, now that we picked up Phoebe, I am going to stop by Wintry Cave really quick and perform her companion check. So this is another feature of the randomizer. You can freely swap companions as long as you know where their locations are, and to get their item checks that you would get out of vanilla, all you have to do is take them to their corresponding story location. So here normally Ben would fall down the wall here and faceplant like a dork, but since we've removed all the story progression elements, that no longer needs to happen. I'm actually going to send Kaylee's mom to fight Minotaur as well instead of Kaylee. So another
That's
feature.
certainly a sentence.
Correct. And the reason we do
And
that is
she
because
forgot
if
her
you shuffle
axe.
your companion. Correct. If you shuffle your companion locations, how are you supposed to? And you really don't want to have to like play needle in the haystack. Where is my companion? Where is Kaylee to take her to fight Minotaur? It can be really hairy. So instead, we're like, hey, Kaylee's mom's gonna go fight the Minotaur instead. It's the same result. It's just what is going to happen. Let's actually go through Pyramid next, because Pyramid, funny enough, is like the most check dense location in the entire game.
Honestly,
it's
like getting a chance to like sit down and check these out. I'm noticing that like this is a very nice rapid back and forth pace. Maps very like dense enough that everything is interesting, but also small enough that navigation is very quick and snappy.
Correct. Like a location like this. Yeah, and especially like, let's say the forest locations here. I can, instead of fighting that slime, just chop down a couple trees and go around them. And I love that part of Mystic Quest, where it's like the enemies on the overworld or on the dungeon map. So
if you were saying about density,
I
kind of cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was gonna say like the density of the checks is really nice, but also being able to freely navigate around enemies, again, was a design choice to make it easier for new players. But honestly, in the modern year, I love it, man. I love being able to see the encounters and plan around them accordingly, especially what they're you might have noticed they're out of place. We have their location shuffled on the dungeon maps, which means, you know, they could be in the way or out of the way, or they could form a conga line. That's not the claw I wanted. I wanted the dragon claw. Anyways, upgrade is an upgrade, I guess. But, you know, it adds a lot of variety. And again, there's a reason I've been playing this rando for like 4 years now. It's because I can come in and tweak the settings and change things and constantly play this a new way every time, while also having that familiarity and that ease of access where I can come home and like unwind from a rough day at work and I don't have to
20% thinking.
Yeah. And then when things start hitting the fan, like when you saw early on in the seed, it's like, all right, let's focus up. Let's put on our game face. Let's puzzle our way through the solution. And then, you know, we can start to coast a little bit back into the autopilot. And that's the vibe of, I think, a great rando sometimes is the customization, I feel. Being able to toggle just about everything you want to tweak your experience, in my opinion, is a great sign of a randomizer, because some folks might not like some of those settings and would want to turn them off. This place is barren. I'm sitting here like singing the praises of this game and talking about like all the things I love about it. I'm not loving all these brown boxes. I want to see red, please.
The funny thing is, like, I do agree with the toggles, but the only problem is it adds a barrier of entry. It's like I've been messing around. I was looking at like RE4 remake. I've been looking at Dalton Imperial. And it's just like, okay, I need like a settings from somebody to start. Then me and Sonny were messing around with the settings and managed to break everything. So we went back to the settings we got from one of the runners. We're like, okay, well, none of this worked properly, so we're just going back to the old stuff. We'll take a hey!
Yeah, we got their Dragon Claw. And, you know, like you're saying, a lot of those can, if you have a lot of settings, they could be really overwhelming, especially for new players, which is why, you know, again, I can't sing his praises enough. Our dev Wild Ham integrated presets. So we have we have a beginner flag set preset that's like, hey, anybody picking this game up from vanilla can pick this up and play this. And it's very, very vanilla-like. It's just, I believe the only thing that's really changed is like a couple settings where things are just shuffled from their locations, but they're all vanilla locations. Arrow in Pyramid, and we got our Mobius Crest. So I think at this point we just need megas, and we should be able to make our way to Dark King after we defeat Hydra. Let's see if Golem is gating. Sid, what's your guess on the element on Golem while I top up here? What element do you think he's got?
Definitely Earth. Because Fire would be too
Earth?
obvious.
Earth Golem would look cool. Fire looks good, though. Look at that. Fire. I speak it into existence. I'm sorry, Sid, that you were wrong, but look at that.
I wanted to say cool Fire, but I was just like, there's no way. That's just too obvious. It's too on the nose.
It would have been on the nose, but again, shout outs, man. That's such a cool looking palette.
Icy Hot. So one of the other things, too, is you'll notice us shuffling around the weapons. One of the things that we did kind of like offhandedly mention is that certain equipment gives bonuses, and it's the same thing with the weapons. They all kind of have their individual things. Dragon Claws, I think claws in general add a little bit of magic, but if we're going to go spells, we want to have the claws on. But, what is it? I think you get a speed boost off of swords, so you want to start with that usually.
Yes. So I can show it right here. Bombs give no increase, but Dragon Claw gives an attack and a magic bonus. Attack is based on the weapon you're holding, and then your magic bonus plus 5 points for claw, and you notice here for speed plus 5 points for equipping a sword, and that's all calculated before you hit fight. So that's why you'll notice a lot of Mystic Quest players, either in speedruns or in Randomizer, will switch to their corresponding weapons depending on what they want to do. Like if they want to try to edge out the enemy and go a tiny bit faster, they'll switch to sword. Or if they want to do a tiny bit more damage, they'll switch to claw. It's like a micro optimization that everybody's just kind of adopted over time.
It really ends up not, at the end of the day, it usually doesn't end up being impactful, but it is one of those like common factoids that tends to get lost in the shuffle. You're just so used to it being a common fact, and you're like, oh yeah, there are people not familiar with this game. And this is kind of the reason why it's not super beginner, because there are some kind of like in-depth mechanics that are not readily apparent unless you do something like that, check your stats.
Correct.
Hey,
and some folks, yeah, we love Apollo helmet. Some folks might be wondering, is like, what happens if I pick up a lower tier item and replace it with my high tier item, like for weapons? All I have to do is switch off and then switch back on that weapon again, and it'll default to the high tier version.
I was going to ask about that like 2 different times, and then ADHD just took me down a different branch.
Yeah, no, it's okay. There was another randomizer for Mystic Quests before the one that we're playing now, made by a completely different dev, and unfortunately that wasn't accounted for. So you could very easily accidentally overwrite your weapon with a lower tier version of it.
Yeah.
Correct, and it was very cumbersome.
Version.
So our dev was like, nope. You automatically default to the highest tier of armor, and for weapons, all you have to do is switch off, switch back on, which not gonna lie, especially for claws, tend to use strategically. Like if I get a charm claw overriding a dragon claw, I'll keep it on sometimes because I don't want to accidentally waste time by A pressing and shooting the claw out, where I could just be saving time by not having that happen at all. So right here, you're gonna notice that unfortunately, this guy is going to resist fire. So instead, we are going to do Triage Phoebe with a little spice of Space Rocks.
Oh, chat's already on.
Spicy meatballs.
I was going to do the good old chat question, but for the VOD's sake and the YouTube viewers that are watching this, the weapons, as they tier up, do give a larger bonus. I think it starts at like 1 or 2 and then goes up to 5 max for the tier 3s, something like that.
I'm out of seeds. Unfortunate. Okay. We're gonna have to do
Seedless,
this the old-fashioned
homeless,
way.
hapless, helpless, hopeless.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just gonna go to the Fireberg vendor and buy those, which hopefully I have gotten. Oh, never mind. He's weak to petrify. Never mind. I forgot that. So if you look on the bottom right, you'll see that there's a little ellipsis bubble. That's the silent status. That's been shuffled to become susceptible to petrification. I overlooked that, but I'm glad I got to showcase that. So the rock there is the petrification status. So anything that is susceptible to silence is now able to be turned to stone.
I mean, another understated
we
thing
take the
too is
dubs.
the claws actually give status ailments in the higher tiers. So the fact that it just doles out stone randomly can be really nice. It's one of those things that you don't get to take advantage of very often, actually.
Correct. We take those. I'm actually going to get a little bit of cash here and show off another one of our cute little features, which is we have hint NPCs built into the game. So at all 4 of the major inns, and yes, we do count the Foresta Dab House as a inn, you can talk to a robot NPC, which you might notice from the Game Boy versions of the Final Fantasy Legends games. Our hint robot, which we have lovingly named Mog. Mog will dole out hints, and it changes actively. So I'm going to check this Mog and see what hint he's giving out here. No, I do not know I want to know where the axe is. Yep.
Chat is correcting me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The chat's correcting me. D-Claws just doles out literally everything. If it is a status, D-Claws gives it. I was not fully sure, so I did not want to stick my foot in my mouth that far, but with this many people, I'm confident that's correct.
Yeah, those are all your elements that D-Claw has a chance to dole out there, and the Claw series just gets worse, as in, like, more dangerous as it goes there. You know what? Let's just do P-Tower. Why do I need a hint? Let's just check P-Tower. It's fine. I have my Dragon Claw now. I really just need Megas. And then we are essentially in go mode because I have all the crests. I just need to find where max ship is. Can I get from... I have 30 seeds. Can I... Escape from this encounter? You never know. There we go.
Exit is just a guaranteed run, right? It doesn't, like, delete the enemies as it does in some other games?
Oh, no. You're right that it deletes enemies. So it is banished to the Phantom Zone. It doesn't get you... It's not flee. It just literally Zod mirrors Phantom Realm enemies. It also removes their XP from the battlefield reward or battle reward. So while, yes, you can banish enemies with exit, you lose that XP that they give, but it's a small price to pay to be able to live. sometimes.
Gotcha.
There's
bosses. It varies pretty heavily. So.
Let's see where he's on floor 2. This is the worst floor to get him on, but I hit 4 and I hit 2, so I can trap him on 3. Also, for those of you who are like, you don't have to worry about finding floor 7 because you could just take an elevator after you defeat Pazuzu. Jokes. When you turn on Dungeon Internal Shuffle, you have to manually find floor 7 after you defeat the Jerkbird. So if you were scared of navigating P-Tower before, welcome. I bid you adieu to the place you're going to probably hate the most, but it's okay. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I'm here to guide you. I promise. I wouldn't do you guys dirty like this.
Or at least as much as you can guide someone with shuffled rooms.
Correct. Yeah. A lot of new players specifically, and some even seasoned veterans, hate this dungeon with a passion because it can be so convoluted to navigate. I've gotten so used to it now that it really doesn't bother me as much, just because if you look at it objectively, going up you only hit odd floors, going down you hit all the floors including the even ones, but the rooms are so small, and with the enemy density turned down, it's much more manageable. The only thing that's annoying here is the staircases that I can find, but floor 5 is not where he is. He's on floor 3. Hey, there's floor 3. And so even after I fight the Jerkbird here, I will have to find floor 7. Actually, let's peek that room. Hopefully there's nothing in there. Nothing. Okay. All right, let's see if we could fight a Jerkbird. Earth, which means he should be weak to wind. Vanilla wind. We take those. 1740 is very nice to have here. I'm going to be extra squishy, but it's okay.
Yeah,
we're just going to brute force our way through this.
I was looking at the elemental list, and I was like, I guess that's neat that you have it, but you have to remember all that without really realizing that the palette and their element get shuffled too, so you literally have a visual cue of what element you're dealing with.
Correct.
Interesting. That's actually some
we love those.
Very nice quality of life for thick-skulled people like myself.
Yeah, no, again, like, accessibility is the name of the game with this randomizer, and we love being accessible, especially to new players. I want, from a development standpoint, even though I'm not a developer, I'm just someone who represents the community. We really, really want this to be as approachable as possible in terms of being a playable randomizer that anybody could pick up and enjoy. Just keeping in the spirit of the base game, which was anybody should be able to pick up and play an RPG. The same design philosophy is carried on to this rando. And, you know, double tornadoes here. Go down, please. I don't want to die. Yeah, I know how to math.
Been surviving off the back of Phoebe's HP pool.
Yep. Again, partners are your big carries. There's a reason why. Hey, look, we're right on floor 7. I didn't have to go exploring at all.
Have a what now? Have a hoe?
Yeah, all of our partners carry really hard in this game. That being said, Ben does have his uses. He's the only character in the game to get the majority immunity from almost every status ailment except for instant death. So a lot of times he makes one of the best body blockers in the game. The only downside to Ben a lot of the time is his low HP pool. But if you're just blocking for the sake of blocking status ailments, Ben is the man. Like, he could take anything on the chin, and as long as he's got enough HP, he'll keep blocking. It's great. Defense, you know, speaking of blocking, defense is a huge piece of tech we use that isn't really brought up a ton in casual play, but is huge for the speedrun and the randomizer, just because a lot of times you can play defensively and live through a lot of situations you normally wouldn't be able to. Check floor 1 here. Okay, nothing. I might just exit. Let's see. Did I see what floor 4 had? No, I dove before. Yeah, I'm glad I checked. Had an axe. Cool. So what that means is I'm glad I get to show those off. No, I'm not saving Norma, Chad. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go fast here. I was a bit rude to Norma there. Sorry. But now that I found the vanilla axe, we can go back over here to this Mog, and he will now offer... No, I don't want bombs.
The fact that she managed to find herself all the way from the starting area to wander up into here, I don't know if we sent her home if she'll actually get back. We'd have to escort her the whole way. She's kind of really far away from home.
She is. So the 2 items. Yes, I want to know where Captain's Cap is. Medusa. Okay, we have to go fight Medusa. That's 1. We can actually go do that pretty much now. But I do want to check the other town. I want to see if I can get a mega grenade hint. Nope. Okay, we'll come back here after we do Captain's Cap.
Okay, I was going to say, are these hints static, or do they like upgrade as you play through the rendo? So I guess you kind of answered that a second ago.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the reasons I came back to check that hint, is they do soft update. So as you get items, like, again, the Moggen Foresta here was hinting for an axe. Because I found base axe, it updated its hint to be a different item.
That's nice.
I got Kansas soda for my reward. It's so terrible. I'm also still fishing for Mac's ship. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's
my tiny little brain, like, just the soda cans look like just a like fruit drink with just an apple dropped in it, and I'm like, what is this supposed to be?
Yeah, I've gotten so many answers.
I am one of those that's always like, I parse the Sprite in the weirdest way possible, and I'm like, what?
I've gotten so many answers on what Refresher's supposed to be, from like a light beer to a like fruit beverage to just about anything under the sun. So I love the fact that it's just so generic that it could be anything. Where is Mac's ship? I haven't checked Cage Temple yet, so...
It's like a stall from 6, where he looks like a little doggy emperor rather than an old man with a beard. Things like that just perpetuate throughout history and will never change.
Right. I did say I was going to take Kaylee, and I like how I'm still rocking Phoebe here. I'll double back and grab Kaylee before we go to the end, just for a little spice of variety here. So we do have to fight Medusa. I'm interested to see what she rolls. I'm kind of hoping she rolls either wind or earth, because I really like those palettes on Medusa. I hope I get to show that off. Megas could be with Ruben as well. I have not made any of his checks yet. I actually forgot where the homebody is. But we'll find him. Wrong side. And yeah, chat's pointing out that we also need to check, we could also check Ruben's dad, but I would need Megas for that, which would be kind of a moot point, because Megas and Cap are the only thing I'm missing, and Cap's right here, so... Once we get Megas, we're basically in go mode. I just need to go defeat Hydra. Fire. Big number. Big number, go burr. 1610 divided out, and 4K? Oh, so close. 2 numbers off. There's our Captain's Cap. Yeah, now we're just kind of cruising. Let's see. Cage. You are... Mobius, are you where Mac's ship is? Not Mac's ship. Okay.
I'm loving that there's enough runners that they're trying to out-logic the logic.
Yeah,
I know better. I can randomize this myself.
It's okay. I mean, I welcome the speculation, just because that is part of the fun of playing rando. You're like, it could be here. It could also be here. What about here? I don't know. It gets like creative brain juices really thinking here. Did I check bottom left? We have freed ship, so really Megas could be on ship as well, like chat might have pointed out, which is why I'm fishing for ship.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm pointing it out because I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Tell you what, let's go visit a Mog. Let's see what they're offering in terms of a hint. See if it's anything good here. I might have
charge you
done this
$7.50 for a
one.
Kupo and not a penny less.
Bomb. No, I don't want bomb. I want megas. I want mega grenades.
You want hints on the bomb?
Could
puts
very
bomb
well
on
be
table.
true.
I don't
Right.
need the
Not
hint. It's
that bomb.
right here. Oh, you just jump straight to Jumbo. Okay.
Thunder Seal. Yeah, I jumped straight to Jumbo. Okay. Well, we'll play it out. It's fine. Trying to think what other crests I haven't checked yet. So, it's fine. We'll find it eventually. Because we haven't checked Sealed Temple yet either. I like glazed over it. There's Wintry. Sealed, I believe, is over here. So we'll check it. East fine. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go?
All the choices, but none of the right ones.
Correct. You're just sitting here thinking like it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, and you're like, I don't know, so we're just gonna go check. I don't remember checking vendor basement here. I remember looking at it, and I don't know if I ever. No, I did pop into it. Never mind. It's the warp from the other vendor basement or the Mega Man house in Fireburg. Libra Temple was, I believe, pretty vanilla. Yep. That was a vanilla warp. And Spencer's Place is just going to loop me here.
This is always
Where
the
to,
interesting
where
part
to,
of,
where to?
of watching an experienced rando runner, where they're just kind
Right.
of mulling over their decisions, and you're like, I have no idea what we're talking about, but I'm kind of excited.
Right? But yeah, no, essentially I only need 2 pieces for go mode here. I would definitely love having wife as well, but I've been avoiding it. Yeah, we might just need to dive giant tree. That might be the play. Sealed Temple, let's see where this takes us first. Okay, straight to Wintry Temple. And then this was Windhole, which doesn't give anything.
And that's also
Okay.
like another like mark of a good runner, that not only they kind of know what they're doing, but showing it off too. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I love showing off everything.
Definitely not like trying to poo-poo on people that like don't stream or aren't as good as showmen, but it's definitely an additional skill set to have with this, to be able to show it off and explain at the same time, because it's one of those very, very hard skills to build. Explaining it in a way that everybody understands it, and remembering the base level as well as the high level stuff.
Yeah, talking and playing at the same time is a skill. I
yeah.
used to be guilty of not thinking it was that hard either, being a long-time lurker until I became a streamer myself, and I was like, how hard could it be to talk and play a game at the same time? And it's like, no, it's incredibly hard. Your brain does not want to spit out words coherently in a way that's interesting to an audience and also be good at video games at the same time. For some reason, it double dips, and your brain's just like, nah, bro, you're not getting both. One or the other. There's a compromise here.
You get one neuro pathway, buddy. You're not getting 2, and you have to build that second line in.
Right,
Like,
and it's such
doing
a
road work.
correct. You're just like, I'd like both, please. And it's like, best I can do is maybe not tripping over every other word and maybe bonking into a wall every 6 times you turn. It's the best I could do for you, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for some people it does come a little bit easier. It's just like the mythic gods of speedrunning that just like learn things quicker. There is some innate like skills that people do carry into it, but for a lot of us we have to build it for sure.
Correct. You watch everything be here at the top of tree, and I've been avoiding it this whole time. Or, to get some rando lingo in here, fading tree. When a randomizer runner says that they faded a location, that typically means that the location has been skipped.
I didn't know you could do that with Claw. Kind of slipped off the edge and just grabbed the next tile over. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, claw slipping is one of my favorite techs to break out just casually, not say anything about it. It's like, oh yeah, we can just scooch on down here. It's fine. Hey, we got another fire element enemy. We've been rolling a lot of thunder and fire, not a ton. I mean, sorry, thunder and thunder and fire. We have not been rolling a ton of earth, water, or wind, but you know, I take the elemental weaknesses where I can get them. I love the handouts. Let's go.
So the weaknesses are
There we
fully
go.
shuffled, right, and reassigned. It's not based on the original element.
Correct. So a lot of times you will just be looking at enemies and it's like, that's the new element they've been assigned. It's not pre-assigned. You can roll a seed and get a brand new element a lot of times.
Okay.
Let's see. Nope. Is Giant Tree empty? Have I been bamboozled? I'd hate to think I was bamboozled, but I think I've been bamboozled. Dang. It's okay, though. So, Tree is one of our big gamble locations, especially when we do races and things like that. Did I check Northeast? Sorry, I'm double checking I didn't miss any doors here.
Yeah, chat is dead set on there being a red chest here. I'm with you,
Yep.
Ab. I'm like, there was a red chest? That's news to me. Maybe I should get my
It's
color
like, "There's
blindness.
red?"
Send me in for color blindness check.
Right. No, that's the same door.
Oh, Skitter a chest? Hmm.
Yep, Ghidra check. So, the reason we defeated Ghidra there is because it opens up a door back on floor 2. I'm actually just going to exit out and come back in. It's going to be faster that way than me trying to remember how to go around, like the exact routing. Another reason why people hate Tree. But another reason why people love exit, because we could just exit out and come back in here. But
True, yeah, the two different chests are completely different designs on top of being different colors, so even for those that
red
are
chest
actually
here.
colorblind.
Yeah, that red chest that you just saw right there on the right is locked behind a door that can only be opened after you defeat Ghidra. So that's why we affectionately call it Ghidra check. It's because you have to defeat Ghidra to open up this one tree door to then check it. Chat's asking, did we ever find ground floor tree? We did not. So first floor giant tree is still on the table. There's 4 chests there. So that is another possibility. I'm trying to think what else is left besides... I think that's really it for megas. Yep, nothing there. God, I love Dragon Claw. Being able to swoop up. Hey, first floor. Let's see. No. And no. So barren. It's okay, though.
Nothing but brown. No red in sight.
Yep. Base bombs. I've been slapped in the face with terrible RNG, and that's okay.
Guess we should have paid for that tip.
We should have. Are you still the guy who was making me pay for bomb? Because I found your bombs. Can I buy another tip? Thunderseal. No, you were not the one.
I want to say it was in one of the first 2 towns that the bombs were.
Yeah.
Or at
Might
least
have
the
been.
towns in the starting area, rather.
Correct.
Whichever ones
I
they
believe it
actually are.
was Windia's vendor who was selling me the bomb tip. Thunderseal. Again, everyone wants to sell me Thunderseal. But yeah, let's double check some of these warps. Max ship. It was vanilla the whole time. Bow of ship.
I've done did
Bow
trick
of ship.
myself.
Sorry. There's a little meme I have with my community that I always want an item to be hidden on the bow of the ship because a lot of people don't know that that chest is there. So when I saw a red chest there, I got really excited, and then I found out that it wasn't my mega grenades.
I
Unfortunately.
mean, the problem is you've gotten most of the hits, so it's pretty dicey on it
Yeah.
actually being high profit.
Correct, but it's okay. Now I have to find Mac on his own ship. The man has been lost in his own ship. The Dark King came by and said, we're going to shuffle the layout of your ship. And he's like, but it's a ship. And he's like, jokes? It's shuffled anyways.
What are you talking about? My ship's always been like this.
Right? It's always been there were megas. Okay. Chat called it. Shout outs to chat. Megas were on ship. I said I wanted to showcase expert logic. I didn't say expert. It's called expert logic. It's not called good logic or smart logic. It's called expert
It's
for a
not called
reason.
Hebinx logic. It's called expert logic. Get it straight.
Another name for logic. This logic can also be mean logic because the game will go out of its way. So, for instance, one of the situations that can occur here on expert logic is the game can require you to get Wake Water and defeat Hydra to get access to the forest or region of the map because it refuses to give you River Corn otherwise. So you'll have to fight a boss that you only encounter 3/4 through a way through the game, and also have a niche item that can be rolled anywhere into the world to get access to an entire region. And it will always be logical to be able to get there. It won't be nice to get there.
Logical, yeah. Logical is a very broad term.
Correct.
That could mean a lot of things.
Correct. And so I'm opting to forego a little bit of damage here to showcase Kaylee. She's a partner who a lot of the community loves wholeheartedly, but she doesn't get a lot of love normally in vanilla just because Phoebe's always there. And then the speed run, again, Phoebe's always there. So we're going to bring our redheaded best girl with us to fight the Dark King.
It's like the Aerith versus Tifa argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the way that you're playing the game, one is just better than the other in certain situations.
Yep.
It's like physical versus
it's like, which
magical.
would you prefer?
Yep.
A nature-loving, axe-wielding sailor's daughter, or a magical-wielding klutz who has a bow and arrow. Both are adorable and great in their own ways. Technically speaking, from a gameplay perspective, both also have their own strengths and weaknesses. Phoebe is immune to the sleep and paralysis status effect late in the game, which is huge for silver webs, but Kaylee is immune to the petrification status, which is great for gold webs if we're talking about Dark King specifically. So again, like, both of the girls are really, really good for endgame Mystic Quest, specifically in Rando. Funny enough,
Especially
Tristram
when,
has really good uses too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Petrify being one of those like instant game over scenarios when both characters that are petrified is very impactful, yeah.
Yeah, and normally Ben is the only one who gets the immunity from it. Kaylee never makes it to Dark King, so you don't get to see it shine. But in this scenario, you do get to see it shine. I'm going to be a little bit of a gambling man here, and I think Hydra is susceptible to silence. So while I'm over here spamming white, I'm just going to keep seeing if I can get a petrification proc.
Ruben's use is ruining Leon's runs in RE4. It's the only place where frickin' maces actually hit their target.
Yeah, ever since the companions were given the option to shine and excel past their vanilla limits, the community, especially the rando community, has shifted from saying that Tristram is the worst partner to, unfortunately, the crown being passed to Ruben. Yeah, we got an Ice Hydra, and he's gone. Ruben has no status immunities at all. He only has resistance to fire. He has a big Morningstar, like, flail, which is good for damage early on. But outside of that, he has mediocre speed. He has an okay HP pool, but nothing really, no name in the game. Tristram, on the other hand, we found excels the speed cap, so he's faster than 99 speed. He has the largest HP pool out of all four partners. Like, dude is bulky. He has a ton of HP. Like, his max is like, after you get him to 41, his HP is up like 1800 plus. It's ridiculously large. So being able to have a fast body blocker that's immune to instant death can be really handy sometimes. Will he do as much damage as the girls? Absolutely not. But sometimes all you need is a fast medic that can take a hit. And that's where Tristram comes in.
I did notice that one of the things you can do is shuffle the spells that the characters learn. Is there something like that for equipment as well to give them additional resistances based on meeting certain criteria?
Not yet. That is something that has been requested, and something that might be being worked on. Companions, for the most part, unfortunately, outside of spells, haven't been touched, mostly because of a coding architecture issue. I'm going to show off this shortcut. I don't need to use it because I have claw and grenades, but in case I got through the seed without getting mega grenades or claw, that shortcut's been added to free ship, which is really cool. But yeah, something to come down the pipeline. Why did we put Magic Ring here on the final fight? Also, instead of re-navigating Doom Castle here, it's shortened gauntlet. Another quality of life. You know what? RNG. We're just gonna hope for RNG here and see if I can petrify Rex.
Every once in a while, I have a decent idea. So whenever it comes to a rando, I let my lips loosen. I got a bug in Pidge's ear the other day where we were doing SMRPG, and I was like, "Have you shuffled the things that run away from Bowser?" Because I think he has a few enemies that automatically run if Bowser's in combat, and she's like, "No, that's actually a good idea. Let me write that down." Mid-show.
Dirt Stone Golem. That's a really cool name for an enemy we're going to see get banished to the Phantom Zone. Just calling that out now. With Thunder Sword, hello, I'm dead. He said no, he's not going down without a fight. And I said, hello? Please? Whoa! Not like this?
Absolute gas.
Right?
And he turned it off.
And Auto Kaylee said no. There we go, Phantom Zone. There we go. Safety.
That is the one nice thing about hosting shows like this. Every once in a while when we have randos, every once in a while an idea pops into my head. And surprisingly enough, I actually have good ideas. Despite what it may seem.
Yeah. No, everybody can have good ideas, and I think that's a great part of our community is we welcome all the ideas. We can't promise that all of them will be implemented, but we have a specific channel in our Discord for bugs and development. It's like, hey, if you have an idea, pitch it. Just like someone brought up color coding the battlefields to shuffle their rewards, and then someone else brought up, was like, but I'm blue-green color deficient. We're like, we should work together as a community to make it to where you can have a different visual indicator for that. And that's, where all that stuff came from, was that community, collaboration. So anybody can pitch an idea, I feel, and it will have some merit in some way, shape, or form.
The only thing I ever feel bad about is throwing more things on his plate. Greedily. Hey, by the way, I have this really cool idea. It'll just take you 20 hours of coding. Don't worry about it.
Right? I mean, we'll add it to the GitHub. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Caesar.
I'm stun
it's Caesar.
Locked. I'm absolutely stun locked.
Caesar. Wait, hold on.
Do we get to stab him in the back, or is that somebody else's job?
I might be able to actually hit him with Claw. I think all the major bosses don't have a silence immunity flag. I'll waste a turn to check. I think he might resist it. Nah. You know what? We're just... Nope. No.
Yeah, that hit was just
confused me. I forgot. Yeah. Confusion's on the table, so I don't want to play around because I don't have to keep the pocket. It is mildly terrifying, especially since Ben's stacked with White Flare and Meteor. I don't want to become my own worst enemy.
Turn around and learning how dangerous Confused one is in this game in particular is kind of funny when it's like designed as baby's first RPG. This was the one that made me very terrified of Confused, because you'll just wipe yourself out like that.
Chat pointing out, shout outs to my community pointing out that no, he was in fact not immune to silence, but it's fine. I took him out the regular way. So here's King. Oh, we got Lightning King. I think he's going to resist fire.
At least we get to see all the forms this versus life.
Oh, I do have one final surprise for chat here. Oh no, Kaylee's not immune to sleep. It's okay.
Chad is rightfully correcting me that Phoebe with Confusion is the one you need to truly fear.
That is any partner with good spells. Any partner with good spells in this rando. mostly just because of the way that. Wow, he couldn't. Oh, it did wake her up. Okay.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
with
different sprites.
partner spell shuffle. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say.
I was going to say
of
with
the different. You, please go. My ADHD
with partner
won't
spell
stop.
shuffle, any of the partners can get good spells. So anyone who gets confused can become your worst enemy. But you were going to say, Sid?
Yeah, that there's some sprite shuffles, because I remember early on seeing Dark King just being something completely different.
Mm-hmm. So
It's
we should see that here in a second. I'm gonna take a triage turn here. Safety and all that. All right, and Dark King's true form is not a spider. I promise your arachnophobes, you're not about to get jump scared here. Oh, nice.
what I
You'll
really
see it in
am
just a second. So
is-
this is a custom sprite provided by one of our community members of the same name, Razdarak. They also made the cooler Pazuzu sprite, which is a true form of Dark King, which is wearing sunglasses and riding a motorcycle. So shout outs to Razdarak. A really talented sprite artist in our community that has done a lot of great work. I need to keep Kaylee alive here because
She's
if she goes
helping.
down, that's basically a wipe. I don't have
Yeah,
life.
because you don't have life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I first saw the sprite implementation, I was kind of floored, honestly. It's such a cool thing to do, because normally it's just character sprites. And randomizing the enemy sprites is such like a neat thing that you very rarely see, if at all.
Right. Shoutouts to the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise community for being able to randomize Zeromus' true form. I will say that that decision was probably inspired by that option, and it's been a community favorite ever since we implemented it. I chose the wrong person, but I think I picked right anyways because I almost went down.
With the, I mean,
You'll
it's the
see
same
why.
thing with like Limit Break too. We look at the stuff that GDQ does. We're not like, yeah, let's just do the same thing they do. They're like, is it right for us to do this? Does this improve our production quality? And there's no shame in looking at a different dev branch or a different rando and being like, wait a minute, this is actually a really good idea. We should just use this. Why not?
Oh, the clutch. You're about to see a clutch Kaylee moment there. So that was a petrification move. And she
Let's
just
go.
shrugged it off because she has petrification immunity. Let's go. We brought the right girl.
Actually called
She might be
it.
taking
Let's go.
She might be taking naps, but she can't be turned to stone. And we are on phase 4 here. Again, I cannot sing Razdarak's praises enough. You're about to see a great fourth form.
This is feeling like Infinite Darkness, honestly. It's the vibes I'm getting here.
The really
What a
cool
fantasy
thing was
step
after we implemented the elemental palette changes, Razdarak came back in and provided custom color palette tuning to all of their custom true form Dark King sprites so that they would work with the elemental shuffle appropriately.
Nice. Yeah, I'd imagine that was
Which is
a
really
labor
cool.
of love, adding the like elemental color shifts. Super cool.
Yep. And that is time. 1:30, right on estimate. Hey, man, I can't ask for much better than that. I got to show off that I'm a complete goof sometimes, and got to show off the amazing rando.
Yeah. Initially, we were going to do
But
the quality of life hack, but we will be doing that in the future, just based on runner availability. So look forward to that.
And yeah, If you are interested in playing this randomizer yourself, I'll give my little pitch here that I have rehearsed 1,000 times. You can find the randomizer at ffmqrando.net. There we have a link on the left-hand side of the web page to find a link to our community Discord where you can join in the fun. We have recently had a new player program, and we have all that stored as VODs. So if you want to go back and check out the new player program called Shrug to Speed and get yourself acquainted with the randomizer to run in a speed game, or just join in the fun and play it casually, that is openly available to you as well. We have a sprite development room where if you want to pitch a sprite to be added officially to the randomizer, you can submit one for a character or a Dark King True form. And as always, it's where you can find out where we're having all of our events like we had here today on RPG Limit Break. I want to say shout outs to Sid. Thanks for yapping with me for about an hour and a half and having me show off the rando. And yeah, shout outs to my family. Happy Father's Day. Hi, kids. Dad says hi. But yeah, it's been a labor of love, like the last 4 years in this randomizer. I can't sing its praises enough. I've been very fortunate enough to be part of the community as it grows. You might see it here in a second. The developer Wild Ham was so kind. He added me to the credits of the game as a bug tester along with a lot of our other very prolific community members. So again, shout outs to him and the other developers in the community. I wouldn't be here without y'all. And so, yeah, it is a pleasure as always to show off the rando. Feel free to join and check it out. I'll say hi. Most other people will say hi too. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, given how vocal chat was and interactive specifically for this, I even as somebody that's not directly in with the community, I'd say you will probably have a very good experience. With that, though, we have a bit of a shorter show, so I might drag this out a little bit, but I just wanted to let you guys all know, as usual, like I said with Spectrobes, I want to get this more as a standard at the end. If you have suggestions for games, even if you're not going to run them yourself, feel free to recommend them to me. And I will do my best to research them and see if we can fit them in as a show. Just the small caveat of at least having some sort of argument that it's an RPG is really all I need. Then from there, I'll figure it out. But Mystic Quest, obviously, indeed, an RPG. Like I said, we'll circle back to the quality of life hack as runner availability is there. So we will have more Mystic Quest in the future. I don't expect to see that change. And thanks for your time, Head. Also, thanks for doing this last minute to replace that show, because we wanted to do Spectrobes, but it was like an hour long, and I'm like, I can justify booting up the stream, but I don't know if the boss is going to like me doing hour-long streams on the channel.
That's fair. Yeah, no, and again, thanks again for having me, Sid. It's an absolute pleasure, not only to show off the rando, but I mean, to get to sit here and chill out with you for like an hour and a half. Outside of the normal limit break visits, so
it's a blast.
Time.
It's a blast. So, any last words, Heb?
I will say again, huge shout outs to Limit Break and everything y'all do. I love this community. I love the rando community, and I hope everybody who's interested in this is willing to pick up the game, join the community, and join in the fun. And if you do have those nerves, I just want to say that there's a ton of senior members in the community who enjoy playing the game and are more than happy to help guide you along if you need any help. So,
I mean, you'd be surprised who you'll end up making friends with too. Just it's a wild world out there. Take some chances, do something you think might be fun, and it might end up being more fun than you expected. But with that, I'll bid you all... Sorry? You had something to say?
I was going to say there's dozens of us. Literally dozens of us.
There's at least one out of 12, maybe. Possibly. But yeah, thanks, everybody, for your time. We're going to send you over to B-Dude, who is currently doing PC all endings for Chrono Trigger. I figured we're already on a SNES game. You guys would enjoy that. Thanks for dropping by. Let me see what's actually next week real quick. Oh, I remember. This one's a really good wild ball. We're doing a 2v2 Archipelago Crystallis race to help promote their 2v2 Archipelago tournament that they'll be having in roughly a month. So that'll be fun to figure out. We have a few other things on the calendar. That's the next weekend. Let me double check what's after that, and then I will send you guys over to B-Dude. Oh, yeah. The Final Fantasy 700% task we're doing the next Saturday and Sunday after that. 'Cause that's 12 hours. So we're going to need 2 days for that one. So you got something coming up in the next couple of weeks. I got a lot of something. See y'all then.